Alright, how's it going, people? Hopefully you guys are doing alright. Welcome to the stream, which is not a stream. And I'll be your host. I've missed quite a bit over the last, I don't know, like 9 or 10 days, I guess. So that's a thing. So we'll try to catch up a little bit. Big ups to Agent Proper, though, who I got to speak to the other night a little bit and gave me a pretty good crash course on what the current events are. So over this stream and whatever the next one is, we'll see what's what, and we'll kind of go for there. Go from there, I should say. So big ups to everybody in the chat. Actually, big ups to you, Dominic, because I'm actually about to talk about your situation right about now. So before we get into our videos, which I have like 5 of them, it's going to probably be short though. They're probably going to be short, but couple of things to speak on. One, since Dominic is here, he gets to go first. So, ladies and gentlemen, our fellow or a fellow bacon connoisseur, as well as watcher of detractor content, is doing an Xbox. Let's see. Actually, let me make sure I pull this all up and make sure an Xbox Series X giveaway. I'm actually about to drop the link to you right now, and then I will pin it. It is open to anybody. Right? Let me actually pin this message. I've also put the link there to where you can actually, where you guys can actually sign up for the giveaway. And essentially, because DSP was gifted a Xbox Series X by a mysterious benefactor, Dominic felt that, hey, why not give something back to the detractor community himself? So that's what he's doing. There is no clout, there is no strings attached, there isn't any of that. You know what I mean? Just enter in, and I think the raffle's for another 5 or 6 days, and good luck to whoever it is that wins. So the link right there will be posted. I will also put it in the description later on, just in case anybody misses the stream, and you guys can go ahead and check that out. And best of luck to all those who participate, and hopefully somebody wins. Certainly someone will win, but you know what I mean. So big ups to Dominic on that. So what's our next situation here? And like I said, it's not every day that you get a chance to win something, so that's always cool. Next thing, Gunslinger Kai actually has, I think they already have the link in the description, where he is offering basically free mentorship for anybody who wants to be mentored, I should say. For anybody who is interested in getting into detractor content, going from the technical aspect of Discord, Twitch, YouTube, there is an illustration app that he uses or program that he uses that he can walk you guys through. It sounds like a very interesting opportunity. It sounds like a very useful opportunity. At the same time, you don't have to look at it as just detractor content. Maybe there's something else you want to try on YouTube and you don't know exactly how to start that up, or you don't know where to go with it. So maybe either which way, it sounds like a great opportunity. I've had a chance to speak to Slinger before. The guy knows what he's doing because he spent a lot of time doing it. So, you know what I'm saying, if that's something that any of you guys are interested in, the link's down in the description for that. Check that out at your leisure. Like I said, it sounds like a great opportunity to maybe get into the game itself or just to get into YouTube itself. So that's something that you guys may want to look into. And if so, I have the link to Gunslinger's video in the description. Through that, you can reach out to him. Let's see here. I actually have some questions myself, so I more than likely will do that also. Okay. Let's see. So we got Dominic, got Gunslinger. Let's see here. All right, to playing with your beliefs. I'm not sure if you're actually in here at the moment. If you're not, you'll hear this later on. Sorry, I'm not actually looking at the chat at the moment. But I'm not sure if you saw Gamescom yesterday, and if you got to see the trailer for that new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I think it's Shredder's Revenge. I'm not sure if you had a chance to see that. If you did, then okay, cool, you're there. All right, big ups, man. I'm not sure if you had a chance to see that trailer, that game trailer, but if you did, then that gave me an idea. I shot you an email a couple days ago. I'm not sure if you got it. It might actually just be stuck in my drafts. If you did get it, don't disregard it. It's just I'm going to end up shooting you another one to kind of coincide with that. If you didn't get it for whatever reason, don't even sweat it. I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to end up shooting you another one because I have another idea. Of course, the game doesn't drop until 2022, but it looks like it's going to be 4-player co-op. It looks good, and I propose within the detractor community, if you will, or just amongst my fellow detractors, maybe we could do like a race or something where like, we can have a group of detractors stream that day. We'll all stream consecutively, and we'll each pick 3-man teams or 4-man teams, depending on how many players they're going to allow you. Currently, it's only 4, even though you have 5 playable characters. And we could, I don't know, have a race or something one day, like on whatever. And it can be for charity. It can be for just personal, for personal glory. It can be whatever. But it sounds like kind of like a fun event or whatnot. And I thought, when I thought of that game, I was like, well, the Street Fighter tournament idea sounds cool. Like I said, I'll elaborate more on that later if you didn't get my email. But I was looking at this game right here, and that kind of brings more people in. So essentially, we can just kind of all, build our own teams respectfully, and then have, like a fun race on a Saturday or something to see who can beat the game with, 3 friends or 3 viewers of their choice. Whatever the case may be. It sounds like something to do fun for an afternoon. I'll play the trailer, not on this stream, but on the next stream, just so people get an idea of it. It sounds cool. So I thought maybe you might be interested in that, and as we get closer, I'll just start passing the word around to as many people as I can reach out to. But I think I thought it would be cool, to be honest. So, all right, no problem. So then, all right, then more than likely it's just stuck in my drafts. Well, then I'm just going to go ahead and I'll just go ahead and rewrite it anyway because I have this new idea that I want to shoot at you anyway. So, and I'll elaborate more on it later on for the stream. And then I think it'll be pretty cool. Like I said, it's not till 2022, which is roughly like 3 or 4 months away, give or take. A lot can happen in 3 or 4 months. But I thought it'd be a cool idea. Let's see, who else? Let's see. I'll address that person on the next stream. Okay. Next email. This person was asking to. We'll just say you want to be anonymous. I will end up firing up a stream for the main channel and the second channel sometime soon, and just give you guys the announcements of what I'm doing, or what I'm thinking about doing, I should say, in the upcoming months. So that'll be a thing. Because yeah, I guess people are interested in finding out where I'm at. So I think that's a good way of doing it. And I want to, as I was telling Agent Proper the other night, I really want to get back into getting back to the Snow Report, getting back into making videos. Videos are fun. But like I said, we can throw a couple of live broadcasts in between. It should be cool. So that's a thing in itself. I think that's everybody. I think that's Dominic, which I see you out in the chat right now. Big ups on that, man. Like I said, I'm sure everybody feels the way I do and very much appreciates you willing to do this giveaway. So definitely big ups to you on that. Big ups to Gunslinger. I'm not sure if he's actually here, but like I said, the link's down in the description if you guys want to take a look and see what he's offering. I think it's actually worth your while, whether you're trying to be a detractor or get into detractor content, and just get get some of the hardware parts of it out of the way, or the aesthetics, or if you want to just do content creation in general and you just need to you just need some polishing, or you just need to be introduced to it in general. I think that sounds like a great way of getting into it. And like I said, playing with your beliefs, I'll get with you on that soon and see what your thoughts are. But I'll talk about it like on the next stream or something, because I have the trailer already downloaded and everything like that, and it gives me Turtles in Time type vibes. So for anybody who remember that game, I think it was available on like PS3 or PS4 for a minute before they ended up having to drop it from the store. But I still have it on my hard drive. I think that's a pretty cool thing to get into. Let's see here. Let's see. Big up Jesse. Big ups Jay. I see Sniper in there. Jacob, Kurt. I see a bunch of you guys. Ziggy Piggy. Big ups to all you guys for showing up. Yeah, it was on PS3, right? Yeah. Oh, the sorry, Playing with Your Beliefs is called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Shredder's Revenge. It was just announced yesterday. You can find the trailer on YouTube like super fast. It's it looks good. It looks really really fun too. So, oh, that's true. You can also emulate Turtles in Time. That's a good point. I'm actually hoping now that this game is available, or it will be available in 2020. Maybe they'll have like a downloadable version of Turtles in Time that might be made available at a later time of day, because that was a fun ass game, dude. So I think it's kind of cool and whatnot. All right, nice. All right, big ups, Jake. Big ups, Jacob. But hey, let's go ahead and get into the situation. I don't want to hold you guys up or anything. It's been fun. Let me actually go ahead and read what's on the docket, so you guys kind of get an idea. Because I'm going to take you guys back to like 2017 with some of this. Okay. All right. Well, first video will be Almighty Frogga. DSP reveals his new Nazi hat. That should be good. That's from August 19th of 2021. And then I've got 4 videos for you from Markus Daily Productions. Yeah, I believe that was probably out for the NES originally. I don't know, I was really young when that came out. I remember seeing it in arcades, though. Like, I definitely do remember seeing it in an arcade, like this really old arcade that used to be like in one of the malls that used to be around the way from us and shit. I used to play that machine to death. Donatello and Raphael were fucking awesome. Anyway, sorry. So it'll be 5 videos, 1 by Almighty Frogga, and then 4 of them, the last 4, will be by Markus Daily Productions. The link to all of those videos are down in the description. And let's see, I don't think we have anything else, so let's go ahead and set the mood, I suppose. Hopefully you guys are doing all right. Like I said, I'm still kind of just catching up on what the situation is. So give me like another day or two, and we should be where I guess we need to be. And I should have the link to the giveaway pinned up top. At least I hope so. Oh yeah, and Playing with Your Beliefs. I hope you do have a good vacation, man. So a lot of you guys deserve it. All right, cool. So chat looks about right. The green on green. I wasn't expecting it to look like that, but that's what's up. Big ups to Agent Proper. I saw you right there. I just saw you, I should say. Big ups to you. Yeah, like I said, when I get a Agent Proper, once I got a free weekend or something, man, I'd like to get you on stream for sure. I'd also like to go back to the DIA stream one day when when the opportunity comes about. That'd be dope. All right. Okay, let's go ahead and get into our first video. Fun. Oh, before I do that, actually, I actually do have one more email. So, Chio has actually blessed us with something that will go into that will actually bleed into our first video. So let me play this for you. 999, and then we'll go ahead and get into the situation. Here we go.
No, how about this? Band.
What a toxic piece of shit. But I love that hat.
No, how about this? Band.
Oh, hi, Pigla. Night. Holy shit. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you guys know what happens on in these situations over here. Let the fun begin, so to speak. All right, give me just a second, and let's see here. No, we're not having buggy mechanics. Okay, just give me a minute. I'm a professional. I'm not a professional.
Ready?
Oh my gosh. Here we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen. First off, big ups to Chio18 for our first clip. Oh boy. Oh. Okay, so first video. DSP reveals new Nazi hat. This is from August 19th of 2021. The link is down in the description. Hail the mighty Pigler. Night! Here we go.
Look at this guy.
Ready? That's so stupid.
Look at this guy.
So after I spoke the quick story, so after I spoke to Agent Proper, right, I had to go back like 30 pages. No, I might have had to go back further than that. It might have been like 40 pages on Kiwi Farms and a lot of Reddit posts. Like, people blew the fuck up on these memes. Oh man, but there were so many good there was a bunch of good like Photoshops, or there was a lot of great edits or whatever. That's what gave me the idea for the thumbnail up front. I could have used the Hitler hat thing, but I didn't. I wanted to use one of the older screenshots I had of Phil in his older content, because he did like a lot of Nazi salutes back in those days. So I just used one of those. And the memes were crazy. Like, they were crazy. Like, people were going wild with this shit. It was fucking hilarious. And then when I actually saw the video, I was like, oh my God. Like, Phil, why? You should have just rolled with it. He should have just, oh my God, he should have just rolled with it. But instead, he turned into a bitch, and he didn't want to, and he was so desperate to show the other hats because he didn't want to give up that one. And Pigler was a very bad, toxic, fun Nazi at that point. It was terrible. He could have made so much money if he had rolled with this. He could have made so much money. Holy shit. Anywho, let's go ahead and continue with it. And we'll see what's what.
Yes. Yes. I just think it's stupid because people, of course, have to immediately associate everything with something bad with me because they want to be dickheads and try to be.
Oh, and by the way, it's not the third right. I think I saw Ann Lee in there. Big ups to Ann Lee. Big ups to Tank, by the way, too. I see Dead School there too. It's not officially the Third Reich. It's the Fourth Reich, if you think about it. If playing off of his fourth place finish at Evo. So realistically, that's what we should call it. But here, I want to play you this part that's kind of got me baffled about the bottom row of his teeth. I'll try to pause it when we get there. No. Oh, that curve song. That's terrible. That's terrible. Big ups to Sunspot.
Yes.
Okay. And see, initially, it looks like his bottom row is bad, but if you see right here, they seem somewhat intact. But if I went back maybe another frame or so, it might look that. That's what I think some of you guys are looking at and are like, what the fuck? Right? But I think his teeth are this really just terrible color. Clearly, we haven't seen a dentist in a minute. But I think his bottom row, though, are actually intact, for whatever you want to call that. But that right there is a good screenshot either which way. That's an excellent screenshot. Let me actually catch that for posterity's sake. And we'll see what we do about that later. Anywho, but at the same time, if we just went off this and then you compare it to Hitler's teeth, it kind of coincides. They both had bad teeth, terrible teeth. And if you go back into some of the archives, Hitler did request his food to be broken down in such a way to not only for it was easier for his digestion, and that goes into a whole nother story in general, which is boring, but also because when he would bite down on stuff, he'd had a lot of pain, as you see Phil does as well. So that's a thing. Night.
I just think it's stupid because people, of course, have to immediately associate everything with something bad with me because they want to be dickheads and try to basically spin everything to be toxic. So because I'm wearing a military hat of the style that a ridiculous amount of people in history have worn, including M. Bison, a character that I frequently pick in a fighting game once a week, they got...
Now let's think about the DSP logic that went into that. Yes, he thought this was somehow a good idea, not thinking at all that this wasn't going to be controversial in some type of way, shape, or form. Second, yes, I am wearing a hat that that plenty of people in the military have worn throughout history. Mainly, yes, there's a lot of military commanders who have worn hats like that, but those hats, especially with that star up there, that star, special star, is usually linked to dictators. Sorry. You know what I'm saying? Military coups are a thing. That's kind of what it's linked to. And then, to even go further, we want to go ahead and try to reinforce it. What's up, Robert? We want to reinforce that by saying, oh, I'm also using it because it's part of the costume of one of my favorite characters, M. Bison. For one, he doesn't even play Bison like that serious in Super Turbo. 2, did he forget that M. Bison is a dictator? 3, did he forget that in Japan he is called, or he is named, Dictator? Did we forget this? Did Mr. 4th place at EVO 2005 forget this? Oh, okay. The Fourth Reich.
Ridiculous amount of people in history have worn, including M. Bison, a character that I frequently pick in a fighting game once a week. They gotta all say it's a Nazi hat. So it's this simple. When I see it, you're banned. I'm not even fucking around. If I see you say it once, you're banned. This is your one warning. If I see it in chat, you are banned. I don't care if you're a regular. I don't care who the fuck you are. If I see it, you're banned.
That's correct. He's also called Vega because M. Bison is usually referred to Balrog. You're absolutely correct. 9.
Period. I'm not putting up with your bullshit. Trying to be toxic on my fucking stream. I'm having fun here. And all of a sudden I look at the stream chat. Everyone, oh, Nazis, Hitler, Nazis. No, how about this? Banned, 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 banned. Gone. Forever. Because I don't put up with your fucking bullshit. Your toxic shit is not welcome on my fucking streams ever. So get the fuck out now. It's not a...
The Swine Reich does work too. That actually works pretty well itself. That's really good. Snortfell or Snortfall. That's dope. that's really good. That is really, really good. Holy shit.
Funny fucking joke. It's not. You're out of here. So I'm done with it. If I see it once, you're banned. And you're not coming back. No begging me in emails. Can I be unbanned? I didn't know. Fuck you, you toxic idiot. You gotta bring up fucking Nazis on my stream. Fuck you. You're banned. Period. Now everyone acts like they didn't say it when it's been said for the past 10 fucking minutes. So I can't wait for the first idiot to be fucking banned right now.
Wow, this is super toxic. I need to get some water. To Tony XP, if you're talking about me in particular, yeah, I'm doing all right, man. I started this a little later than I wanted to, but other than that, I'm all right. Unless you're talking to somebody else in the chat. But yeah, I'm doing all right. Just a lot of toxic. Just very, very toxic. all I see from him is toxic.
All right. Now can I concentrate on the game and have fun instead of listening to stupid, dumb shit? That'd be great. That'd be really great. No, there's no hat streak. There's no streaks like that anymore. What was for dinner? My
What?
The what? Did he, oh, I heard you call. Oh, yeah, no, I'm good. Sorry, man, I'm good. Saying 9999 is not something I'm used to doing. It catches you a little off guard, but I'm good, man. Thank you. Did he call Kat his mom again? Oh, see, that's Agent Proper being a good friend, because you can't tell your friends all of the good stuff. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to let them experience some of this bacon themselves. Let me hear this.
I did not say mom. What are you talking about?
No,
here we go again. Oh, you said mom. I didn't fucking say.
Yeah. It sounded like you said.
That'd be really great. No, there's no hat streak. There's no streaks like that anymore. What was for dinner? My
What?
Oh my Christ. Okay. So we're still referring to Catherine as his mother again. Okay, fair enough. That goes back to something we've all said, where this is not a relationship. This is an agreement. This is an arrangement, and he has replaced Panda or Leanna with Catherine as his wife. Someone just said it, Ziggy Piggy, as his wife / mother. Jesus Christ, dude! Like, stop referring her to your wife and just call her Cat. If it's easier for you to do that, because and that, I think, is one of the reasons why he has to keep putting that label, my wife, my wife, my wife. No, he never, as far as I know, he's never called Panda mom. But it's certainly, that's what that was. Well, more or less, father-daughter really is really kind of what they had going. I guess saying father-daughter was probably really what that relationship was. This was his 5th time doing that. Yikes. But here, in this relationship, clearly, when he associates Catherine with his mother, or with a mother-type figure. Pure and simple. So, and that is obviously problematic for a variety of reasons. We don't need to get into all of that, but certainly that's not healthy to look at another person like that. And that was something he immediately went to. Like, if you saw, he had to like catch himself, and he caught himself late, as he has done, but he had to like really try to catch himself and backtrack that, so it didn't come out as we all knew it was going to. That's just not healthy. He just needs to come out and be honest. Like, eventually it's gonna end up being one of those situations where we were in this relationship, and we thought if we got married, it was gonna, work out for the two of us. But she wanted kids and I didn't, and I was going through so much stress in my life, and she was contributing everything she could while trying to maintain the house, while I was up here in my little office / playroom. I'm sorry, studio / office, trying to do the best that I could for the business and for us. And we didn't have any time off, and these brain dead fucking detractors and shit were on my neck every step of the way, and it wasn't the wholesome relationship that I wanted it to be. I didn't want these brain dead fucking mentally ill idiots to go ahead and ruin my relationship, my marriage with Catherine, like they did with my relationship with Panda, and it just happened. It's their fault. It's these toxic fucking idiots' fault for ruining everything. That's what we're gonna get in a couple years. Damn well that's exactly how we're gonna get it in a couple years. Sooner than later. In a couple years, it's going to come out just like that. Oh, my God.
I did not say mom. What are you talking about? Here we go again. Oh, you said mom. I didn't fucking say mom. What the fuck are you talking about? What was for dinner? My
What did I get myself into?
I was bumbling over my own words because I couldn't remember what it was called. I was just like combining words randomly in my head. People are fucking stupid shitheads. Anyway. Full screen, no, I don't care if I missed a super chat earlier. You can stop spamming the stream chat now. I likely skipped it on purpose. It's not your business to tell me what to shout out and what not to on my own streams. People are really being obnoxious lately. An anonymous $1.50 tipper says the most fucked up part about Fortnite Among Us situation is that Epic Games pours millions of dollars into licensing deals with Disney to do the right thing for people bigger than them, but then anyone smaller, they're just going to steal their shit. Yeah, I talked about that on my pre-stream today, how fucked up I feel the situation is. They should not be stealing the idea for Among Us from Among Us. I mean, it's really fucked up that they did that. Then again, you do realize the entire Battle Royale idea that became popularized with children in Fortnite is literally someone else's idea. PUBG came up with it, or actually it was before this, right? Wasn't it? Was it DayZ, or was there a game even before DayZ that did it? But everyone just copied each other and ran with the idea and made money off of each other's fucking idea, each game kind of improving or tweaking the formula a little bit until Fortnite essentially found the perfect money-making formula by milking children. Pretty fucked up.
It's funny how Mr. This Is My Business forgets that he's actually part of a business. It's amazing how that's the situation. It's also funny how Mr. Businessman, right, who has all this talent and all this vision and all this creativity, has none of those things, and has to go to the audience to give him ideas for marathons, for celebrational events, for anything and everything. Speaking of which, what happened to the Xbox Game Pass thing and all these fresh games that were going to reinvigorate the stream and the content and was going to bring people in? Did that die after like a week or something? Like, I don't understand. Like, right before I basically went on a break or whatever, that was the rave. And then all of a sudden, this hat nonsense goes on. I'm hearing, actually, Proper had brought that up too. Jasper has a urinary tract infection, his second one, coming from, derived from the fact that him and Catherine can't clean out a fucking litter box. Sorry, 2 litter boxes. So Jasper's sick, right? Oh, no, I'm sorry. Jasper was sick. And then all of a sudden, like his dad, his latent mutant ability ended up kicking in. Jasper's healing factor ended up kicking in, and now all of a sudden he's fine. So let me get this straight. So was it like a hypothet? Just run with me on this. On a Friday, he was definitely sick, or Saturday, whatever. Friday or Saturday, Jasper was definitely sick, and he was trying to piss all over the place, and he couldn't do it, and they really wanted to help him, and he couldn't because he couldn't get an appointment until, ironically enough, his next day off, which is on a Tuesday. He puts that information out. He gets shitted on online for 24 fucking hours, or even 48 hours, and then all of a sudden, on that Sunday or Monday, Jasper is miraculously okay. He's cured. HP, there we go. The drum drop. His HP was restored. All of a sudden, he's great. And then what happened on Tuesday? Did he still take Jasper to the vet? Is Jasper all right? If Jasper was like Wolverine, he'd be able to get his claws back. I'm sorry, that was fucked up. I'm sorry, that was fucked up. Damn, that was fucked up. So what happened with that? What happened with that whole situation? Like I said, is Jasper okay? Is he on medication? What are we doing now? Holy shit. That's pretty fucking shitty. Oh, he said nothing about it. Rip on that. I'm sure maybe we'll find out something today, but god damn. Yeah, sorry about that, Jasper. That was uncalled for on my part. Yikes.
Like, I literally believe that if we have the vest go be 150, it will never happen. People will say, oh, forget it, we've seen the vest a million times. But the hats are an incentive for people to still want to see something new. People asked me to do this. This is not me, I came up with this idea. People, again, asked me to do this. They said, we want more hats. Please buy more hats to make it the higher top gold, have incentive to tip. Okay, I did it. Now people want to negotiate.
Okay, now let's talk about this hat situation. So we had our Nazi dictator hat, right? Which, that right there should be exclusive. This is what he should do, if he's smart. He should save that hat exclusively for Street Fighter, if that was the theme, if that's what he was going for. That's what it should be saved for. It really should. But whatever. So we got 3 other hats, all camo, and they all, one is like a visor, like a beach visor with like a fucking fur ball on the top. Okay. The second one is like not Herschel, the dude from The Walking Dead had and shit. It looks like that. And then the third hat is kind of like the hat that you see in Australia, like the military type one, but it clearly don't fit. And he's saying that it's not supposed to fit that way, but either A, you don't understand how a hat's supposed to work, or B, it doesn't fit you. It's clearly too small. But why the fuck did you buy 3 camo hats? And isn't the story that he actually bought those 3 hats with an Amazon gift card that someone gave him, and the 4th one was given to him by a fan? Speaking of which, I'm actually closing in on that particular event that I was telling you guys about, where we're going to do some giveaways or whatnot. So I haven't forgot about that. Also, that might be the stream where we go over the John and Howard response, because I know, Robert, you requested that video. So we might go over it. That video we might do for that event. So look out for that, because that should be fun. So that was the thought. We went with 3 hats of this particular style. We couldn't get any variety. So we got the smelly cowboy hat that he's never washed, and he admitted it. We have the dictator hat, and then we got, I mean, the Australian hat that doesn't fit him. We have the Walking Dead hat, and then we have the I don't know, the balding beach bum type hat. I don't get it. I really don't understand what we were going for. Yeah, John and Howard wore hats all the time. That's true. But at the same, I don't understand why he chose those. Like, he couldn't have picked a better grouping of hats. Like, why'd you, like, it shows a lack of imagination doing it like that. He might as well have put a poll up on Twitter and had people recommend hats to him, and then he could have it. That would have been perfect. Recommend hats to Phil on Twitter. Like, send him screenshots from Amazon. And then he puts that shit up on a poll over the span of, let's say, a week. Maybe 2 weeks. Maybe 3 weeks. Whatever. Right? And then he narrows down which ones are the best hats, and those are the ones that he buys. Matter of fact, if he did it that way, he might even be able to convince someone to actually purchase that hat. Like, let's say whoever it was who had the... whichever person had their hat be recommended or that won that poll, they'd be like, hey, Phil, since the hat that I recommended to you won, I'll actually buy you that hat. And there you go. Because it's obviously he's trying to build up a small armada of fucking hats like he's doing with vests, and none of them are matching anyway, so it is what it is. So we might as well go with that. A McDonald's hat would be funny. A McDonald's hat would be fucking funny, to be honest. Why not just do that? All right, let's continue. Hurtful, just hurtful.
On a bargain to make it fucking be easier to hit. That's not how it works. I give you exactly what you want.
Yes, his father was a Marine. If I remember the story correctly, his father was a Marine.
Now we move the goalpost.
That's why he has 3 herniated discs in his back, and he can still work for full time, and Phil can't.
Further and move the goalpost further. No. That's not how it works at all. At all.
Keep the change.
I don't know about a WWE hat, but if he was willing to wear a Hulk Hogan headband or bandana, that would be kind of funny. I think that would be kind of funny if he was willing to pull that nowhere.
The whole point of me getting additional hats was to have additional incentive to hit the tier 3 tips goal, not anything else. That was the reason I got the hats. Now all of a sudden, we'll make it easier to hit the goal. No, that's not the point.
If everything goes smooth, the money will come flying in.
The hat idea was my idea? No. That's not correct at all. That was someone said for a tier 3 goal, since I need to hit basically a 3rd tier, it should be putting on the cowboy hat. That was someone else's idea, not mine. I didn't come up with that.
Yes, Silent Weapon. A Burger King crown would be hilarious. That would be kind of funny. Because of how oddly shaped his head is, I don't know how well it would fit, but that would be kind of funny.
Michael Caine, so I should mention this, because he says hats are interesting because there'll be more variety, and different days you can wear the different kinds, and it fits better. So here's my true idea. Right now I have 4 hats, plus the cowboy hats. That's 5 freaking hats, okay? I know exactly what's going to happen. Once all the hats are revealed, someone's going to like 1 or 2 of them. They're going to want that all the time, just like the vest. Oh, I like that 1 or 2 hats. I just want that hat constantly. And, of course, I'm not going to have always those hats in the running. It's going to be just like the vest, where I'm going to rotate them around for variety's sake, okay? But with the hats, what I'm planning on doing is each season mixing it up and maybe adding a few new ones and taking certain ones out of the rotation to be seasonal hats. So, for example, every hat that I have right now is considered a lighter hat. You're not going to see me wearing a giant fucking crazy hot-ass fucking hat that's going to overheat my head in the middle of the fucking summer. You know what I'm saying?
This shit right here is starting to sound like what he was doing with some of his emotes on Twitch. That's exactly kind of what this is starting to sound like. He bans anybody who brings up Jasper. Oh wow, that is a red flag. That's a big red flag if that's the case. There, yeah, I like that season pass DLC. That's actually a great way of referring to it. Actually, holy shit.
But once we hit the fall, I could maybe add better hats like that. You see what I'm saying? Like I could have like someone said a silly suggestion earlier. They said, what about wearing like one of those Russian style hats, like a Cossack hat or something like that? Right now, that is not possible, but it doesn't mean that it wouldn't be possible in the future. If we get to a cooler season or whatever, then maybe I would do something like that. You see, but not now, not in the middle of the fucking summer. We got to do something that's going to be reasonable. You know what I'm saying? The whole point is that I stream and it doesn't hinder my stream, but it still gives you guys some entertainment and incentive to contribute to see something silly. Sultan Shadows, I'm not even going to answer that dumb question because I've answered it a million times and you're just doing it to piss me off, so I'm just not even going to fucking answer it. Seriously. How on earth you didn't hear me answer that 1 of 10 times, I don't know.
Question, has the tip goal gone up? Is it still 150 per stream, or has it gone up, or is it up to back to 200, or what are we doing? Because to be honest with you, the Sonic hat should be the $200 stream goal. To be that's what he should do. That would be hilarious. Oh, it's still 150? Okay, cool. All right, no problem. Speaking of which, guys, just in case any of you guys came in late, the pinned comment at the top, Dominic is actually doing a giveaway for an Xbox Series X. So if anybody's interested, you can click on that link and you can sign yourself up for it if that's something you guys want to do. Because who doesn't want anything that's free? Oh my God, still 150. Okay. Like I said, I'm surprised he hasn't raised the goal yet.
Blog comments to the Super Chat says, why are there so many reaction videos on YouTube? Can they come up with their own material? They literally have reaction videos for every kind of thing, even fitness. Well, you want to know my take on it? Because it's literally the easiest content you could put out on YouTube. There is zero effort, skill, or anything put into a reaction video. Play someone else's content, talk over it. That's fucking reaction content. You don't have to play a game. You don't have to even have an intelligent fucking thought in your head. You just say stupid shit. Oh, I made a reaction video. Why does Phil not react to E3? That's why. It's the lowest form of content on the internet, and I refuse to do it. I'll do intelligent content where I'll watch E3 with you guys, and then afterward, I'll do a summary video where I give you all my thoughts while I'm summarizing everything we just saw, so the video actually has some fucking value. How
the fuck do you figure? You're still reacting to the video, or you're still reacting to what you saw. Just because you chose to take the extra step or two of taking down notes to make it seem like you're being more analytical doesn't mean anything. It still comes off as the exact same way. 2, you used to do reaction videos. 3, you're a reactionary streamer, are you not? You're reacting to somebody else's work, which are games, right? That you overhype for profit, right? Didn't he say that's what his forte is, reactionary content? That's what he said, right? That's what it is, right? Does he write everything down? I always like the Theo theory that he has a huge board off to his side there and he reads off everything. I always like that idea. You know what I'm saying? But if it's not the case, then he's playing a video game and reacting to it as he's playing it, right? Isn't that not a thing? Huh. So, what? How does that work? How really does that work? How is anything that he does is anything different from anybody else? Especially when he tried to do reactionary content. He tried to get over doing so, and he failed. That's why he quit. If he was making the type of money that anybody else was making, he would have stayed with it. What has he built? What has he designed? What has he created that has any value whatsoever? If it wasn't for, air quotes, good games, his business would be in the fucking toilet. Is this the same guy that tells us week in, week out, you know what, guys, we got a bunch of brand new releases. The brand new releases are right around the corner. Once the new releases come in, and that'll bring in more people and more attention, and then I won't need your help so much because, you know, more people will come in. Right? So his business is dependent on someone else's work, right? That's how that situation plays out, does it not? I could be wrong. Wouldn't be the first time.
Thought about what I was going to say before I said it, not just talked out of my ass like an idiot, say, oh, like an ass.
So you want to imply that everybody who does reactions does fake reactions. All right, fair enough. So then isn't it fair to say that since you took your time to write down what your thoughts are, and you probably looked on Twitter while this was going on to see what Twitter was saying, oh shit, Twitter really likes this game. Oh fuck. Damn, I wanted to shit on it, but Twitter really likes this game. Okay, let me go ahead and skew what I'm getting ready to say, so this way I don't get shit on by Twitter, and maybe I'll get a free copy. Or I'll get an influencer copy. Or a review copy. Does that not sound like something that DarksydePhil would or wouldn't do? You're putting yourself you're in that exact same box. I would much rather have someone give me a reaction to it, like right then and there, to see what they think. And I guess you get, from a community standpoint, everybody gets to watch it together. Then going ahead and taking the extra 2 or 3 steps to write some bullshit down and act like I'm giving something without a visual aid to go with it. The visual kind of works out because you can use that to extend your point. Or you can use that as an extension of your point. You've never been in a PowerPoint before, Phil? Like you never understood how to do this? Oh, that's right. You were only in customer service and you never did much of anything else. I forgot. I'm sorry. And we complained about our back all the time. True. My bad. Even though you said that you were like the head or a lead of projects at that old helicopter company, right? So you do understand that a visual aid is important, right? You do understand that that is a thing, and there's nothing wrong with that. And you're hindering yourself and your community and your viewership and whatever else that you're supposedly trying to build because you're too fucking lazy to turn on your stream, right? Have your fucking shitty ass webcam on and literally react to everything as it goes on. And then after the event's over, you can go back, you can literally be like, all right, guys, let's go ahead and do a review because you had a little bit more time to think about it. And then you can just add on to what you've already said. Was that really going to be so hard to do? And people have been asking him to do that for years, and he still refused to do it because, oh, I'm not like the rest of them. But you're still going to sit here and bitch and complain because Twitch let you go. Matter of fact, I did see the thing about Dr. Disrespect talking about suing Twitch, which I'm sure we all knew that was coming. What has Phil said about that? Has he said anything? Is it going to be like a zombie go boom type situation where he's going to try to interject himself into that? In the hopes that, if Zombie Go Boom wins, then maybe Phil could... Well, just in case you guys don't remember. Zombie Go Boom was a YouTube channel that got demonetized because of the content they make. It's for the content that they were making. And Phil was like, oh, well, I didn't get demonetized, but, they've definitely been killing me on ad revenue. So if these guys win, maybe I can get a piece of that in a lawsuit as well. Even though Phil doesn't have any money and he doesn't have any grounds to sue. So, I don't know. No one's baited him on it yet? Okay. Fair enough. Yeah, Phil will eventually insert himself into that. I agree, 100%. I'm surprised he hasn't done it yet, to be honest. Which is funny, too, that he even brought up Dr. Disrespect when he doesn't have any time to watch anybody else's content but his own. Semantics, though.
I hate those fucking videos.
Ziggy Piggy, what do you say about, if you don't mind me asking, what do you say about yesterday? Do you say anything in particular, or was it just a generic, angry snort? I am actually kind of anxious to hear what he said, if he said anything.
Das Bullshit says, some Twitch streamers will play someone else's video and go cook dinner and you come back afterward. Wow. Now that's content creation, folks. Be sure to send those people lots of contributions when they're off making their ham sandwiches. Because I'm sure they're just gourmet cooks. Henry Jones Jr. said the stupidest thing I've ever heard. I'm not even going to read it because he's so dumb. And he should actually think about what he just said before he fucking repeats it. I'm the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. I mean, seriously. You're grasping at fucking...
That was actually kind of telling, too, because... Okay, so people go off, take 5 or 10 minutes on a stream to go and make a sandwich. And he says, oh, yeah, they have time to be gourmet cooks. It's hard to make a sandwich. But won't this idiot take, between 15 and 30 minutes to take a piss off stream? And that's okay? That's perfectly reasonable? What? And has Phil gotten to the point, has he devolved, I should say, to the point where he's too lazy to put a sandwich together? Keep in mind, this is the same idiot who said that he made turkey burgers for himself and it took 3 hours to cook the turkey burgers, to eat them, and then to wash all the dishes up and clean up the kitchen. Keep in mind, we're eating off of paper plates, by the way. We're eating off of paper plates. But it took 3 hours to get all of that done. Huh. Okay.
Straws, bro. And there's some flimsy fucking straws. Here, every time someone asks me something incredibly stupid on the stream, this is how I'm going to respond to it. No! Stupid. Every time. I'm not going to waste time anymore. Yikes. Phil reacts! Oscar Mayer extreme baloney! Wow, look at the pimentos in that thing. It's amazing. You see, it's so dumb. I hate that shit. I really do. That actually is a pet peeve of mine. When a content creator puts out zero effort to do anything and makes a ton of money on it because people are simple and just like the most ridiculous things because they follow every word they say like they're some kind of an idol or celebrity or authority figure. That's ridiculous. Like, what the fuck, man? I'm sorry, I would never do that. I'm seriously, like, I would, I'm not going to sit here and just react to every little thing and try to make a paycheck doing it. That's called like easy mode day where you put no effort in. That's why I'm a gamer. I like chilling with games, having fun, and yeah, it takes effort to do this. I have to pay attention to what I'm doing right now. I can't just fucking have my thumb up my butt because some asshole might just kill me. I have to pay, and it's harder to do that. It is much harder to do that than just fucking sit around and talk out of my ass and talk over someone else's video, talk over a trailer. It's harder content. Absolutely, it takes more effort. It's more stressful. But at the same time, I feel like there's definitely a lot more to what I do than someone talking over someone's fucking content or a trailer. Like, it's so stupid. That's the laziest fucking content. And I seriously cannot believe people support it in the way they do. I know there's content creators, they make giant views and money off of, react to the trailer, react to this. What the fuck? Why? What did he do? He talked over it. Why are you giving them a paycheck for nothing? I never understood that at all. This is as much about...
I don't understand how a grown man can come up on stream every day and beg for money and act like he's doing anything about it. And acts like he's actually running a business when all he does is beg for money. I've never understood that. I've never understood how anybody would drop themselves down to this particular level to do so. Like I said, you don't build anything, you don't create anything, you just sit there and fucking beg for money. People still try to make the argument to this very day that he makes a living playing video games, and he doesn't. He doesn't make a living playing video games. He makes a living begging. That's what he does. And I'm starting to think, because you know how like Nick Rekieta, for example, says, this is going to be a heavy grifting stream, you know what I'm saying? But even then, I find that when Nick calls it grifting, it's more entertaining and it has more value to it than what fucking DSP does. Because DSP it's just solely begging for the sake of begging. I can't do anything else. I'm too lazy to do anything else. I don't have enough creativity or talent to do anything else. So just give me more money so I can continue to be here tomorrow to give you guys the same fucking pig shit that I've already been passing off to you guys for a number of years. Because everything else that I did prior to this, I failed at. And I have nothing else. And I feel like you people owe me. So that's why you guys need to give this money up. That's it. Every time someone gives him an idea to do anything, he immediately is like, I can't do it. Because his fucking autistic schedule, or because he's tired, or because other people do that gimmick and he doesn't want to be like them. But yet being a beggar is okay. Okay.
As it is about you. Yes, I want my viewers to enjoy my content. Yes, I want my viewers to feel like there's value. But I have to feel like it's good too. I'm not just doing this for money. I keep telling you guys that. I do this because
what do you mean you don't do this for money? You can't do anything else. So yes, you do this for money. You goddamn right you do. You better be doing this for money. What other skills or talents or abilities do you have? And if so, why weren't any of those things utilized or exhibited before you resorted to begging? What do you mean I don't do this for money? The fuck you don't? Isn't this your business? Isn't this your livelihood? So yeah, you better be doing this for money. And this is coming from the same tard who told all of you, I really wanted my own brick and mortar business. If he can't handle this, sitting down, playing video games, and being entertaining, which is what his job is supposed to be, if he can't handle this, how the fuck was he supposed to run a brick and mortar? a real business. I'm not saying that what he could be doing could have been a real business, but what he does is not a business. It's clearly not. The way he's going about it, I should say, or the way he does it, the way it's presented to you is not running a business. It's a fucking 40-year-old man who still thinks he's like 28 and thinks he can still do this to his heart's content. And he really can't. Think about every single thing that you've ever seen DarksydePhil do or try. And think about how much he fucked it up. Some of you guys are pointing out that sugar video. Let's go back to just the poorly cooking with the kings. And he sits there and downplays it now and says, oh, they were just stupid little videos that I did to just show you guys how gamers eat. I don't know too many gamers who eat like that. I don't know how many regular people who eat like that. And you can clearly tell that he was drunk as fuck during some of those videos. And even then, he was botching some of the most easiest shit to make. He still fucked that shit up. He can't play video games for jack shit. The only thing he has is Street Fighter. And Super Turbo's basically handing him his ass more often than not. He thinks that whoever that guy that's been whipping his ass over the last couple of weeks, besides Goji Tanks, who always has his foot up his ass, Goji Tanks literally has reservations to have his foot up fucking Phil's ass. But zero something. Sorry, no disrespect to Zero, but zero something. He's been sitting there giving Phil the business the last like 2 fucking weeks. I can't wait to see the Ludwig World Order video on that if it continues to go along. Well, Jesse too. Jesse also has reservations up Phil's ass too. You're absolutely right. But like, what about that situation? Phil thinks he's winning. Phil thinks he's kind of getting the groove back, getting the vibe back, and then he gets outsmarted on some dumb shit. Who the fuck told DarksydePhil that a level 6 turn punch was going to beat a super? Who told him that was a good idea? Who told him that was a good idea? I want to know.
Passion for it. When I started gaming as a kid,
Yeah, Maverick too. I haven't seen Maverick in a while. Or Ryu Walks Alone, or Lady Gambit, or any of those people who go ahead and hand him his ass. You can just go ahead and add Zero to the list of ever-growing people who are just beating him on a regular basis, or starting to. Does actually, Ice, do you have the name of that Zangief player? Just out of curiosity? If not, I'm going to go back and check the VODs later anyway. But silly stuff like that. He's failing at that.
It was something that I had passion for. When I started playing Street Fighter competitively, I have passion for it. Do you think all those years I played competitive Street Fighter before there were any sponsorships, you would win a tournament and win like $100 to $200? It cost you $1,000 to get to the tournament. I didn't do it for money. I did it for the passion of it. That's my.
So you put yourself in debt for the passion of Street Fighter. That's why you did it. And let's go ahead and move the money to the side, right? Let's forget all that. Let's move the money to the side, because you guys have all. I'm glad, right, that it has come to fruition as I said it was going to. That you guys see DSP as the walking ATM that he was. So that's if I contributed anything to any of this, at least that, at least people see that. But you want to say that I did it for the passion of it. I did it because I loved it. So that year in 2015 was when. Sorry, not 2015. I'm sorry. 2005 is when he did. He had that run at EVO when he took 4th. So it was either 2004 or 2006 is when he had that run where he won those 4 or 5 qualifiers. Which, if you actually look, right, because the finding the standings are actually kind of ugly. He didn't win all of those qualifiers. He had placed highly at some of those qualifiers, meaning top 4, which would give him placement. Which would give him a placement when he actually gets to EVO. But he didn't win all those qualifiers. On top of that, why won't his dumbass tell people why he ended up going to all those qualifiers? The reason, and gave a shit about winning them. Want to know why? Because for whatever reason, he thought that all of his qualifier slots were going to go ahead and stack up upon each other. Meaning that he thought it was going to place him even higher because he's won 3 or 4 of them. And that wasn't going to happen. And I don't know why he thought it was going to. Or well, not or it's also he thought, oh, people would respect him more if he went and won these qualifiers. But once people found out what the version of the game was, it didn't matter. And yet again, they're all qualifiers. But even more importantly than that, you put yourself in debt for qualifiers and a 4th place finish? You threw yourself in the debt for that. You thought that was a good idea. Come on, dude.
It's been like that. Doing things you're passionate about. So, that's who I am. That's who I always will be. You're not going to change that about me, you know? Toxinox did $1.50 tip, says, you seem mystified the fact people like hearing other people's opinions and experiencing things with them. That's why reaction videos are popular. It's the same reason people game playthroughs and streams are popular. I don't know, but here's the thing.
Oh, I don't know. We saw how we quickly backtracked, which is funny because when what game was that? Was it Fallout 4? No, not Fallout 4. We could talk about the hypocrisy of that. But what was it? Metal Gear Solid 5. Right? That was after we found out the thing about Kojima and Konami, right? And all that. And Phil, I'm not sure if you guys have actually seen this video. I know some of you have. Where Phil's like, you guys shouldn't be supporting this game. You guys shouldn't buy this game because you're fucking over the people who fucked over Kojima. And why would you do that? That's wrong. You guys, you're paying the devil if you decide to go and buy this game. And then he's like, and then someone in his chat was like, well, hey, are you going to play the game? Well, I have to play this game. I'm running a business and people want to see it. People want to see my honest reaction to the game, and people who may not want to pick up the game may want to play the game through me or see me play the game. So it's funny how that hypocrisy, which was bullshit, by the way, happened back then, but look at what this shit is now. And if you think about DSP Tries It, isn't that not the same thing? He's reacting to a new food item that he's never tried and putting it online for profit. Doesn't DSP Tries It work with the same shit? Doesn't Feasting with the King, well, Feasting with the King kind of, sort of, but DSP Tries It's probably the best example. That's the same shit. That is reactionary content. It's a food product that he hasn't eaten before or a game peripheral that he's never used before, right? And he's reacting to it in real time, he's trying it or whatever, and he's putting it online for profit. I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
Again, if I'm going to give you a reaction to something, I don't want it to be, I saw a trailer and I freak out and act over the top to get a reaction. And you have
so now reactionary content isn't about actual content anymore. Now it's reduced down to trailers. So which one is it? Is it the streamers and these brain dead idiots and these mentally ill people who react to other people's content, or is it trailers? I'm confused now. I'm very, very confused. No, he can't react properly to his own trash because it's trash. We saw that with the first it was like the first or the second retrospective. I think it might have been the second one. He could barely stomach his own trash. He was looking at it and he could barely stomach it. He had like a list, or he said he had a list of different videos to go through. He was skipping through stuff. He was at a point, and Lee, I'm sure you saw it because you were around then. He was actually looking for timestamps, or he requested timestamps from people just so he could get to the good part. He couldn't even sit there and watch through his own shit, which tells you something.
Oh, it's funny. I would rather say, okay, I watched the trailer, I formulate my thoughts, I'll tell you what I thought about the trailer. Because I'm intelligent. Like, again, I'm not someone trying to put out shovelware content. I feel that's meaningless. I literally feel like that's meaningless. I'm just being honest. I don't think there's any use to it. It's the worst level of content. It's the laziest. It's the least quality, and I don't want to be a part of it. And I wish people respected that, because they don't. Every year, E3 comes along. Are you gonna do live reactions? No. I've only told you every year since I've been a content creator. I don't like that. I don't want to do it. And people just don't respect it. Try not to laugh. Okay, try not to fucking laugh. What was for dinner? What was it called?
All right. That was the mother thing was funny though. I got to tell you, the Nazi hat thing was great. The rest of that with the reactionary video stuff, that was just insane. That's just insane. It's almost like he retconned a large part of his YouTube history to come to this moment. And theoretically, whenever he's playing a new game, he's profiting off of reacting to that game. I don't understand how he tries to differentiate from that. It's the same shit. It's literally the same shit. I mean, well, give or take, given the median. Okay, sure, whatever. Just that's more of that DSP logic for you. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go into video number 2. I'm going to take you guys back to September 24th of 2017. Having 4 days off, even though I can't. This is a weekend preview. This is brought to us by Markus Daily Productions. The link is down in the description. Here we go.
Whoa. It's wild because, what's up everybody? This is a wild weekend preview for me, folks. Hello and welcome to the weekend preview, by the way, because I've got my new setup over here because one of my computer monitors actually died this last week. Well, it didn't die, but it was dying, like it wouldn't turn on.
Yeah, my bad about the sound. The next one, I'll try to mute it right away because the intro is like 15 seconds. I'll try to mute it right away and then I'll bring it back on. So my fault on that, people. My fault.
Easily. I had to fuck with it for like 5 to 10 minutes every day to get it to turn on fully. And I was like, I can't keep doing this. I need a setup that works. So I actually brought a television that I had in my bedroom ever since I moved here years and years ago.
Yeah, exactly, Logic. Like, his whole situation is based off somebody else's shit. Like, it's always has been. If he was actually entertaining, people would automatically disregard it. Like, they would disregard the fact that you need video games to play off of, or you need whatever, right? But he can't do it. He just can't. I posed the argument that he ever could, to be honest. I posed the argument that he never really could. And as the years went on, and as more and more people came into this and did it better than him, instead of moving with the tide, he essentially chose to drown and have people bail him out. And it comes back to the perpetual village idiot that doesn't know how to swim, but keeps insisting on going fishing and then falling into the lake or the fucking river or wherever the fuck it is. It's kind of like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? He won't take the time to learn what the situation is, what the current climate is, right? He won't take the opportunity or he won't listen to the advice that's given to him, but then he gets mad when he fails at trying to do that very thing. And then he hides behind the narrative that I'm different, I'm unique, I don't want to be like everybody else. Okay, fair enough. Don't be like everyone else, but don't sit there and bitch about the money they make. And it's funny, how can you tell us about the money that they make when you say you don't pay attention to those people? You don't care about those people, even though he's stalking them on Twitter. You can clearly see that by who he's reacting to. Because most of the people that he's reacting to, or he's responding to, I should say, he's not following some of those people. Not to say that you have to follow someone to chime in on what they're saying, don't get me wrong. But you know what I mean? Like, that's how his situation plays. I thought Twitter was mainly supposed to be for his business. And then recently he said, oh, well, if I want to talk about my personal feelings, when his paycheck didn't come through, which I found out that the second one was late too. Womp womp. I thought he learned his lesson the first time. Womp womp. And now look at him. And now he's over there stalking people. He's been stalking people from the FGC. Let's not lie about that. And he's chiming in on what other big YouTubers are saying if he can fall into that. Interesting segue, by the way. Have any of you guys been keeping up with what's been going on with the quartering and Review Tech USA? If you haven't, I'll throw that in on a stream coming up soon. Because that right there is turning into it's not really interesting. It's just two old guys just being stupid, to be honest. And not to say that they're old. It's just two guys being dumb. It's two guys being really fucking stupid. And it's like whatever beef you guys have or you guys are trying to manufacture or whatever the case may be, let it go. It's just sad. And then Rich has a situation where people are trying to, yeah, exactly. When cows collide. Well, Rich has this thing about some type of bypass surgery he may or may not have. What's going on with that? Has anybody got any word on any of that at all? Or is that just smoke and mirrors? Because the video I saw, that is a lot of weight to lose. Not to say that you couldn't. That's a lot of weight to lose. But the problem is when did he have the period of time off where he could do that? Like when is that? Where was he able to fit that in? Yeah, I heard him talking about I heard about what Ethan Ralph said about the about suing Kiwi Farms or whatever whatever that's supposed to be. I've heard about that. It's kind of silly, to say the very least. His hate boner for Josh is kind of crazy. All right, true that. I'll look into it. If it comes up to be something more than what it is, then maybe I'll throw it out there. But holy shit.
Never use, which is significantly bigger than my computer monitors in here, and it's as my second monitor, and it's huge. Like, the TV is much bigger for me to see, like, the weekly preview, and it's like, whoa, I look so big on there, because, you know, I'm not a little webcam in the corner like I do for my gameplay streams. Here, I'm giant for the week in preview, right? So anyway, it took me back here for a second. Welcome to the week in preview, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Phil, obviously. Today is Sunday, September 24th, 2017, although the day's almost over for me. It's already past 8 p.m. as I'm filming this. We got a big week coming up. We got a lot of stuff coming up. New stuff, continuing stuff, finishing stuff. This is the final week before I take some time off. Next week, I will be taking some significant time off. I'll talk about that in a moment after I talk about this week's schedule. There's a lot to talk about. You know, Patreon is running out for this month, this week, so we'll talk about that in a moment. The one thing I want to get out of the way before I start up here. About a week ago, a little less than a week ago, it was Monday night of last week, I put out a video here on the King of Hate Vlogs basically stating that things at this point are looking pretty risky, meaning it looks like I may end up having some really bad news and everything going on behind the scenes that I can't really talk about, that I may end up being in a really bad financial situation, I may end up losing my house. There's a lot going on. The thing is, I don't really want to discuss too much about it because it's something that's happening right now behind the scenes of everything. And it's something that really, honestly, you guys don't really need to know about, but I wanted to get it out there to get it off my chest because really it was bothering me so badly when this kind of happened last week. And I wanted to let everyone know this past...
Is Amberlynn going to Seattle? And yeah, it is kind of funny shitting on Phil. It is kind of it is kind of funny shitting on some loser. Absolutely. Especially when he's under the delusion that he's actually winning. Yeah, it's kind of funny.
Last week, you know, if you saw that, I ended up being, you know, pretty either negative or you know, whatever this last week, that it was probably because of that. And honestly, I'll be honest with everyone. I don't think there could have been a better week for Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite to release because I was able to siphon all of my anger towards that game. Not to say that it wasn't well-deserved. Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite is a terrible game. For a competitive fighter, it is bad. It is just fucking so bad. It's so broken. The whole game is just fucking dashing combo span and doing safe moves instead of actually having any kind of, like, fundamental knowledge of fighting games. Most people who are playing this game and winning are people who actually aren't using any strategies that are for any kind of significant fighting game knowledge. It's just, oh, I learned this really abusable, insanely long combo, dash forward and do the hit string, tag out, dash forward and do the hit string, tag out, dash forward and do the hit string. Or, the other thing is people do is they throw a slow projectile, then they dash forward, do the hit string, and there's nothing you can do about it. The whole game is that, pretty much. Now, I have picked a team in Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite that's much different. Slow moving, doesn't have these giant combos, more based off of reactionary gameplay and skill rather than just dash into a pattern. Because that's how I enjoy the game. If I were to play Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite and play it as a game that was just a dashing pattern game, I would have zero fun and I would probably never play it again. And that's just real talk, because a lot of people this week have said, Phil's complaining about the game all week, why doesn't he just play it with the abusable shit like everyone else is doing online? And my answer is because then I wouldn't want to ever play it. I would have zero fun.
He couldn't use the abusable shit, though. That's why he keeps talking about he was the top 100 in Marvel Infinite, and then when the game died, he just stopped playing it. In actuality, he made it to top 100 when people didn't really know what they were doing, or everybody was learning how to play it. Then he stopped for a while, then he came back and he got spanked because everybody got better. Same thing with Street Fighter V. That's why he keeps using super turbo tactics, and eventually he gets beaten out because it's all pattern gameplay, or at least most of it is anyway. So that's the real reason, and that he just couldn't adapt to the new stuff. like I said, we're talking about someone who says that he was somebody in Marvel vs. Capcom 2, but he really wasn't.
It wouldn't feel like any kind of a challenge. It would just be a pattern masher, and I would never play the game again because it's a piece of shit. So admittedly, as soon as I went online, my coverage of Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite has been some salty stuff this last week, and it was partially because I think the game sucks, and partially because of this stuff underlying going on behind the scenes. Now, do I have any updates? No, I don't. Not yet. In fact, I have a really important appointment tomorrow afternoon that I gotta make, and it's exactly when I would normally be streaming. It was kind of an emergency thing that I had to set up, in order to basically start getting initial information on this situation that's going on behind the scenes. Okay, everybody? And listen, there's a lot of speculation. Some people said, is it Phil's health? Is it Phil's financial situation? Some people were speculating that my house is going to get demoed. Some people were thinking that that it was IRS audit, and I put up a shell corporation called DSP Enterprises, and the federal government caught me, and now I'm being audited for tens of thousands of dollars of back taxes. None of that's true. That's all wrong, okay? So, so many people hypothesizing all this stuff. That's really all wrong. It's a really unique situation that I may or may not be able to disclose more information about as it happens. Right now, initially, this is really the first time I'm going to be having some major kind of focus on it and try to figure stuff out of what's going on here, all right? I hope that everything goes right here. I'll knock on wood. I hope that everything goes good. And that even if there is some kind of a negative impact, that is not some kind of huge debilitating impact on myself, on my ability to do live streams every day, on my ability to stay here. As you know, I've lived here for 3 years. My quality of my stuff has gone way the hell up ever since I moved out here. I mean, it's just the studio. It's a soundproofing studio now. This really is. It's an office/studio for my work. I do this a lot more professionally now than I used to. It's not me in an echoey, living room. I got a professional mic set up with, soundproofing foam. I got a much better capture setup because of the way this is set up here. Because it's a small office, I can have everything, up to snuff of how I need it. And if I were ever forced to sell this place and go to a smaller place, or, God forbid, worst case scenario, actually move back to the East Coast, back to where I started, a lot of the things, the improvements that I put into the business / whatever you want to call this, because technically it's not a business. I know lots of other things too, because yeah,
that's the other thing too. So remember how it was business up until we owed state and business occupation tax, and then all of a sudden it wasn't a business anymore, which means that's not an office, right? That's not a studio, right? Because we're not making money on that because we're not taxing it, right? This is some internet thing that I just do to make money. It has no other value to it besides that.
Been calling out that this thing is not a business. It's not a legally registered business. And a lot of people have been saying, oh, that's why I think Phil's getting tax audited. It's not. This isn't a legally registered business at all. It's just me being self-employed, making some ad revenue on my videos on YouTube, making some ad revenue on my streams, and you guys subbing and, cheering, tipping, Patreon. All that is my income. And it's not a registered business or anything like that. But whatever you want to call it, I put a ton of time, effort, blood, sweat, tears into getting to where I am. And it just sucks that so many fucking bullshit circumstances have put me already financially in a position where I'm bad, and now all this shit going on behind the scenes that I can't really talk about may make things even worse. So I don't know. The future is uncertain, folks. What I can say to you is this. First of all, thank you for your support. This year has been one of, if not the most challenging year of my life. A lot of shit that happened. The YouTube adpocalypse. Going out of my 5-year-long relationship with my ex-girlfriend. Struggling through, deader times in the summer, trying to put out content with my throat being all fucked up like it was all summer, right? And finally, seemingly, false copyright strikes as well during the summer. Let's not forget about those. And finally, seeming to come over the end, and now things have been good. August was a great month on stream and on YouTube. September, there's 6 days left in the month after today, and it's looking like it's going to be a good month overall, if not great, like August was. And you're like, wow, all these positive things, and then all of a sudden, something else comes to get me from behind. And the other thing that really irks me about this, unlike a lot of stuff that happens to me, I made some bad financial decisions. I openly admit that. The decisions I made were based off of estimating that I would have the level of income that I had when I made those decisions, and it didn't. My income went over the past 3 years. And that's why I'm in a bad position right now. But this particular situation I'm in, there's nothing that I could have done to prevent it. I didn't do anything wrong. It wasn't a bad choice on my half. It has nothing to do with you as a viewing audience. Nothing. It's nothing like that at all. It's just overall shit. It's like the worst possible fucking luck, whatever you want to call it. And you think I haven't been through the ringer enough, being DDoS attacked, being doxxed, being swatted, false copyright strikes, my channel falling out of YouTube search, basically being slandered all over the internet, all the negative videos about me. That's
the fact that he keeps calling that doxing when he showed the envelope that had his address on it, and then he dared people to come find him, and they did, right? And he put his own information out there, still amazes me even to this day. That's fucking hilarious.
Not enough. Now this has to come out of fucking left field too on top of everything. It's like I said on Monday, it gets to a point where it's like, I don't know how much more I can take, man. I'm tired of being a punching bag. I really am. I just want to do what I'm doing and love it and have fun doing it and just stop with the abuse. I feel abused at this point. What the fuck is going on here that all this crazy shit keeps happening? So here's the deal. It's going to affect this week's schedule, and I'm going to explain how in just a moment. So that's kind of why I'm going through this, is like the intro to the week in preview is there's a lot of shit going on behind the scenes that's not good, that's affecting me, and I know it's coming through in my videos and streams, and I apologize for that. That's why I did that last week. However, people have told me that the streams are great. They said, Phil, you know, even though you're being negative most of the time when you're playing Marvel, your streams are great. I mean, look at the freaking attendance. The attendance on the Marvel streams has been near 1,000, if not over 1,000 viewers every day that I play it. So obviously it's working, and people are coming out and cheering and subbing and tipping, and, you know, I'm getting ad revenue because I'm running ads when there's 1,000 people on stream, so I guess whatever I'm doing is working, okay? So now let's discuss this week. Tonight, I'm obviously not doing anything else. It's already past 8 p.m. here. In fact, after I'm done with this video, I've got a stack of bills like this I gotta fucking sit down and pay. Delightful. Best part of my month, let me tell you.
Let's see. Mr. No Views. No, I haven't seen that video yet. You said that's by Jackal's Lair. Do you remember the name of the guy? Because no, I haven't, I haven't, or whoever that pay pig was. No, I have not seen that yet. If it's still on his channel, I'll definitely look it up.
Tomorrow, Monday the 25th. Yes, I am doing a stream, but I don't know when it's going to be because I do have this very important appointment that I have to go to in the afternoon. That was the only time available on an emergency basis to have this kind of appointment. And basically, the appointment's around, like early afternoon, so I don't know when it's going to end. It could end up being quick. It could end up taking forever. I don't know. So, what I'm going to do is this. Right here. They call me DSP, social media folks. What I'm going to do is go to this appointment. When the appointment ends, on the way home from the appointment, I'm going to grab some kind of food from somewhere. I don't even know where. Just something quick on the way. And eat it. And then I'm going to let you know when I'm home and I'm ready and I'm going to get set up to play a Marvel stream. It's going to be around the usual 3 to 4 hours. Since I already have eaten, it won't matter, what time I start. So I can't promise you a start time. It could be afternoon. It could be later than that evening. I don't know. It could end up being like Friday. Where on this past Friday, an inspector had to come by to inspect the fire alarm and all these buildings here. And he ended up taking way longer than we had estimated. So instead of doing an earlier stream, I canceled it. I went and did all my errands, came home, and just did a later stream for 3-4 hours. I may do that, okay? But it will be more Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite tomorrow whenever I get to actually playing, alright? Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, if all goes according to plan, alright? And I hope all goes according to plan. I guess we'll see. I want to do double streams every day. What I want to do is my first stream, normal time around 12:30 to 1 p.m. Pacific, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, and then at nighttime I want to do Mario plus Rabbids. If all does go according to plan, I may finish Mario plus Rabbids this week. So, that'd be great if I could wrap that up this week and get that game done, because it won't leave a big lingering game. This Friday, a game called Cuphead releases. It is an Xbox One and I believe PC exclusive. It's not on PS4. It's a shoot 'em up with cartoony graphics from like the old school cartoons. Supposedly people are saying it's really fun, but it's also very difficult. We'll see, I guess. So that starts Friday. That'll be my main stream for the day. There will be no second stream on Friday. Friday's the day when I go out and I do errands and stuff, guys. So, maybe we'll see how many fucking Marvel videos I actually record this week. Maybe what I'll do is save some. So I'll do Cuphead, upload that, and then maybe have a little bit of Marvel that night or whatever. We'll see. And then, Saturday, Sunday... Typical Saturday, Sunday, where I'm going to be doing a double stream on Saturday. Sunday is the week in preview, but this is a weird one. Here's why I say this. This coming Sunday, so a week from today, is the 1st of October. What that means is that patrons will be starting to have their pledges processed, okay? But they won't be done. Now, this sucks, and here's why. Because typically what I do is the first Sunday night of October, I see what pledges went through, and then I send messages. I said the first Sunday night of October. I meant to say just the first Sunday night of the month, every month. The first Sunday night, I see what pledges processed, and I send messages out to those patrons and say, okay, thanks for pledging. I need this info from you to get you your upgrades or whatever it is that you earn for your perks for Patreon. This month, the pledges won't have completed. They won't have completed by Sunday night, because the Sunday night is the 1st. So that means that, sadly, the patron pledges have to hold over an entire week till the 8th, all right? Now... The 8th is a special day, and I'll explain why in a moment, because I'm going to take some time off. So I'll talk about that in a moment, the time off, because that's next week, not this week coming, okay? But the point I'm getting to is, if you are pledging to my Patreon for this month, right over here, patreon.com/DarksydePhil, if you're pledging to try to make that Halloween horror marathon happen, you got 6 days left. You got to do it by the end of the month, midnight on the 30th. If you pledge $5 or more, you will be not only able to nominate and vote on the horror games for the marathon, but also you'll be able to vote on the kind of costume that I'll wear during the marathon. But we have to hit the goal. And right now, we're about $250 away from hitting the funding goal. It's doable. In 6 days, people could definitely step up and say, oh man, I want a private Q&A video from Phil, so I'll pledge $50, And some people might say, well, I really want the Halloween marathon to happen. It's happened 2 years in a row. I'll pledge so-and-so. And people may step forward and do it. If it doesn't hit the goal, I'm sorry, guys. That's how Patreon works. There's a celebratory goal if we hit the goal. If we don't hit it, I don't do the event. So if you want to see that Halloween event happen, please pledge to my Patreon by the end of the month, all right? Now, the next 3 months, I have totally different Patreon goals. For example, I've got one goal that's going to be around PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. One goal is going to be around a multiplayer event for patrons only. And one's going to be for for a Christmas event. Me playing holiday-themed Christmas games.
Actually, doesn't DSP still do that? Where he has to make a certain sub goal? Well, when he was on Twitch anyway. He had to make a certain sub goal to have the Christmas event, which he holds every year either which way. I wonder how he's planning on doing that this year. How is that going to work out? But I forgot that he was doing that the whole Christmas events as well. Sorry. Yeah, you can kind of see how the beard was falling apart. I mean, you kind of see how he himself was falling apart. Because keep in mind, he's allegedly by himself, even though he's already been talking to Catherine for who knows how long up to this point. And he still looks like a mess. Like an absolute fucking mess.
Those goals, I actually think will do pretty well. Only because 3 totally new things, right? You know, people are going to want to play multiplayer in the new games coming up. And, I've never played PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. Doing a whole marathon of that would be awesome. And I've never done a Halloween marathon of gaming ever. So this would be pretty cool. 3 new goals coming up in the next 3 months. So I think you guys will like those. I just hope we can hit this goal for this month, you know? And it's not like, certainly not like I don't need the money. I do. I need the help right now financially and everything with everything going on. So please consider pledging, all right? But you are not, FYI, if you do pledge right now, I will not be messaging you on the 1st because all the pledges won't have even cleared yet by the end of the 1st. I gotta wait a day or two, and then what I do is I message the people whose pledges were declined. And I wait for them to maybe update their information and for that to clear. So I'll...
He looks ill. He was drinking really heavily around this time. He was drinking super, super heavily.
I'll be messaging you about a week later. Now let me explain because I gotta get to that, alright? So, recap of this week, folks. Tomorrow, I will be doing a stream on Monday, but I don't know when, but it will be Marvel vs. Capcom. Tuesday through Thursday, double streams, MVC on first stream, Mario plus Rabbids second stream. Friday will be Cuphead, and then Saturday, Sunday will be, more Cuphead. Saturday night we'll have a second stream, whether it's Marvel or whatever, it probably will be, okay? Now, I'm going to be taking time off. I need it. I mean, you know how stressed now I've freaking been, especially with all the shit going on behind the scenes and everything. I'm going to be taking some time off from live streaming, either starting the night of October 3rd or the day of the 4th. So it's either going to be Tuesday night, the 3rd, where I'll only do maybe a 1 main gameplay stream, and then that's it. Or maybe I'll work that whole day, and then the day of the 4th, I'll just start taking time off. I haven't decided yet. I have to see what happens. But what I'm planning to do, alright, is that Sunday, Monday, is probably do double gameplay streams, even though normally I wouldn't do a double stream on like a Sunday, alright? More than likely what I'm going to do is try to really hammer it in and do as much gameplay as I possibly freaking can, because I want to do some extra sessions for you guys, so that when I'm away for a few days, I have videos to upload. So, example here, when I had time away in July, what I did is I played extended sessions of Dark Souls, and I only uploaded maybe 10, 12 videos a day, and then I stretched it out so there were videos of Dark Souls and fighting games all that week when I was gone. I'm going to try to do the same thing here. What I'm going to try to do that weekend is try to play as much Cuphead as I can, maybe finish it, do more MVC, you know what I mean? And I want to squeeze in another session of Ultra Street Fighter 2 as well, because typically when I play Ultra Street Fighter 2, I get a shitload of videos out of it, and at that point, I won't have played it for several weeks. I'll be craving it again. So, while I'm gone, when I'm not here during my time off in early October, you're going to see Cuphead, MVC, and Ultra Street Fighter 4, all videos going live on DSP Gaming, so there's really no relative downtime when there's nothing going on the channel, alright? Now, like I said, maybe that Tuesday night, the 3rd, or if not, the 4th, definitely. No live streams for the 4th, the 5th, the 6th, and the 7th. 4 straight days, there'll be no live streaming. Okay? I'll be doing personal shit. I'll be trying to get my shit in order. Like I said, with all this stuff going on behind the scenes, I need time to do that. I'll be trying to clean the house. A lot of shit. I'll be trying to do a lot of shit. We'll see, how it goes behind the scenes.
Now, keep in mind, these 4 days was when Kat was coming to visit him. But you got these back taxes. You've got a somewhat public breakup. He's trying to court a new woman. And whatever else whatever else he was working out that never came public. So he was definitely going through the ringer at that time, which is all of his own doing, by the way.
Here and everything. But I need the time off. I really do. So I'm gonna have a few days off there. All the videos will be going live and added to playlist and everything. I'll be taking a little bit of time off those 4 days. I'll be coming back on the 8th. Alright? Now, what I want to do on the 8th is twofold. Number one, I do want to do a gameplay stream, but it's going to be later in the day. It'll probably end up being like the second half of the day, like a nighttime session stream return. What's it going to be is actually up in the air. Right now, I have a fan, my phone's over there. I have a fan who sent me a code to be in the beta of the Star Wars Battlefront 2 beta. And I was like, that's interesting. That could be a fun return stream. The problem is the code I think he has is Australian, and I don't know if it's going to work on the United States PSN. I'm actually going to try that tonight and see if it works. And if it does, the beta is running, I believe, that day, the 8th, when I'm going to return. And what I'll do is I'll play it that night. That'll be a fun return stream of 2-3 hours. I'll be doing the Star Wars Battlefront 2 beta, right? But we'll see. I have to see if it works or not. If not, I'll probably just return and do like Marvel or something, okay? And then, starting that week, that Monday will just be finishing up whatever I want to finish up. Maybe if I haven't finished Cuphead, I'll finish Cuphead. Maybe I want to do more Marvel, the final session or whatever. Basically get it out of my bones, whatever the leftovers are, because that Tuesday is the release of Middle-earth Shadow of War. Alright? And you may say, oh, that's cool. But, is that the only game that week? Yeah, and here's why. Because I know that game's going to be long as hell. If you remember, the last one was over 20 hours long. That Friday is the Evil Within 2. So I have to basically play Middle-earth Shadow of War within 3 days, try to finish it, to get ready for Evil Within 2 coming out that Friday. By the way, I then have to try to finish up the Evil Within 2 by Tuesday, because guess what comes
there's no guarantee that he was showering at all back in those times. And if you remember, this is the same time period where he learned how to use the washing machine for the first time. So, X the doubt on that.
on Tuesday. South Park: The Fractured But Whole. Holy shit. So within a 2-week time, 3 giant AAA blockbusters that you guys want to see and I'm dying to play all back to back to back. That's going to be a freaking awesome time for me. I'm going to be coming back from time off and going right into fun-ass stuff. I cannot wait, okay? I really can't. That's going to be exceptionally good in my opinion. I can't...
He was saying that he just needed the time off. He would say that, I'm saying my throat really hurts and I need a few days to recover, or that he's been really sick, or he's been giving a lot to air quotes the business, even though it wasn't a business, and people were giving him a lot of time back, and he just needed a time to get over shit or to work stuff out. As usual, I have a bunch of stuff going on behind the scenes. I can't talk about it, but I can't concentrate on my work, and the business is suffering, so I'm taking this hit. But hopefully you guys will be supportive when he comes back, essentially.
I hope you can't wait either, because I hope people come out for the streams, get hype, and watching the videos. I hope you get hype. I really do, because that's really, I think, the week that I'm going to get super excited for the hardcore gaming season this year. Because by the way, after those 2 weeks, you got 3 more releases by the end of the month. The week after, or the month after that, you got Call of Duty World War II, Sonic Forces, Need for Speed, and there's more. I can't even see it. It's hanging off my calendar. It's blocked by my new big TV. I can't even see my fucking calendar anymore. But there's so many games coming out within October, November. I'm just going to be busy as shit the entire time.
The big TV he's talking about, by the way, was the flat screen he had in the bedroom, because one of his monitors had blown out at this time, so he was using the TV from his bedroom to replace that. So when he's talking about that big TV that he's using, that's what he means.
Okay. I've been asked a question. Ooh, a little tweak there in my neck. I've been asked a question. Phil, are you going to continue to do fighting games on Sundays? Because it seems like you've had a lot of fun all summer doing Ultra Street Fighter 2. Then last weekend you played Dragon Ball FighterZ, and now this weekend you played Marvel. And it's your weekend streams for fighting games are getting great attendance. Are you going to keep doing that? If people really want it, sure. If people are genuinely excited and enjoying my fighting game coverage and they want to see me do it on a weekly basis, I'd be willing to do it. Especially with Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. If I don't play that game once a week, I'm going to get rusty as fuck, and I'm just going to start getting my ass whooped every time I touch the game. Especially because what's going to happen. The meta game will develop and you'll see all this new shit. Now, right now, it's all fucking combo spam. But who's to say in 2-3 months if the game dramatically changes, right? And people find ways to destroy the combo spam and beat it easily. And now, you've got a totally different game to play. I don't know, but I would consider doing a fighting game, whether it's Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite or if it's Ultra Street Fighter 2, or maybe I alternate between the two or whatever. I would definitely consider doing that if people are interested in me doing that moving forward, okay? Alright. I think I've pretty much at this point covered almost everything. Yeah, I guess so. I covered this whole week. I covered my time off, when I'm going to come back and what I'm going to do when I come back. So at this point, I think I've covered pretty much everything, and you guys are in the know of what to expect, all right? I will say this. If and when I finally have some definitive news on all this shit going on behind the scenes, that I feel like I can share with you, and it's healthy to do so. Not that I'm going to share you information when something's already in process and now it can affect the process. Because what's going to happen. Already people are already making these wild theories. These crazy-ass fucking theories that are just insane. Shell Corporation. I couldn't believe that one. It was like this elaborately drawn-out conspiracy theory I saw on my forums. I'm like, Jesus Christ, these fucking people have so much free time to think this shit up. I couldn't have thought that shit up. Seriously. But anyway... The point I'm making is, I'm dying to tell you what's going on, but right now...
yes, that was back when the forums used to be fun. And the trolls would occasionally go up there to fucking leave stuff. You don't see that anymore. KG just runs the whole, basically runs the whole fucking pig pen, or at least that part of the pig pen over there.
It would not benefit me to do so, until I have more information for you. And until I'm in a situation where I know exactly how what's going on is going to affect me in the long term. Okay? So why tell you about something now when I have no idea what's going to happen?
A slick back hair counter would be funny, but being that his hair is starting to fall out, it doesn't matter. Because if you think about it, his hair is a little bit more fuller here than it is, in our current timeline.
I mean, best case scenario, again, maybe the whole thing is just blown out of proportion and will not affect me too big at all, and I could just keep doing this and then I never have to mention it again. Worst case, having to lose everything and basically sell off everything in the house, sell the house, move back to Connecticut, that would not be good. That would be horrible. That would be really like giving up, basically. Throwing in the towel after busting my ass for so long, and I don't want to have to do that. But it's like I said in the video last week, you know, some things can't be helped, and, you know, sorry that I never made it big on YouTube like everybody else did, who, you know, it's funny because everyone knows who I am, everyone knows DarksydePhil, but I'm not rich, but yeah, everyone knows who I am, versus everyone else who's like big names on YouTube all have the fucking insane amount of money and shit, and, you know, I never got there.
That's so depressing. Let's bring that back. That's so depressing.
For so long, and I don't want to have to do that, but it's like I said in the video last week, you know, some things can't be helped, and, you know, sorry that I never made it big on YouTube like everybody else did, who, you know, it's funny because everyone knows who I am, everyone knows DarksydePhil, but I'm not rich, but yeah, everyone knows who I am, versus everyone else who's like big names on YouTube all have the fucking insane amount of money and shit, and, you know, I never got there.
I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. Fuck that. He deserved what he got. He had a chance to change up and be a front runner in some of those things, or at least go along with some of those trends, and he chose not to. He chose to do it his own way. He chose to be unique about it. He said that there was value in the raw, unedited gameplay, and you got what you got. Notoriety doesn't necessarily mean that you'll ever be rich, but instead of being rich, you should have aimed for being being well off, if you will. You know what I'm saying? Being rich isn't everything that it's cracked up to be, I'm sure. Oh well. Oh well. He could have been rich. I mean, shoot, over the time that he's been on the internet, he's made at least, well, as of now, it's probably over $2 million. You know what I mean? He fucked himself over. He wanted to live like a rock star, a gaudy version of it, and this is where he ends up. You know what I mean? And he did it all himself. This is 2017 Phil talking. You know what I mean? This is at 2021, who's even more bitter, even more resentful. This is 2017.
Crazy, because if I was in that situation, I'd probably be okay. But that's it. I'm not. I'm already extended to the point where you guys know I'm barely paying my bills, and now something else creeps up, and it's like, this is just insanity at this point. So I'll let you know when I have more information. The way I'm approaching it is this. I gotta be here every day. I gotta try to stay positive, do what I do, have fun doing it, and share those experiences with you, the gameplay experiences, on a daily basis, and try not to let all this shit get to me behind the scenes. And, you know, sometimes this week, I tweeted it late at night, I couldn't even sleep, up till 6 in the friggin' morning, gotta be up in like 3-4 hours for work, and, you know, I'm like... But I'm going to do my best, folks. If anything, I'll say this. So many people have contacted me over the years, and they said, Phil, with all the shit you put up with, the nasty shit people have done to you, the things that...
What's 2022 Phil going to look like? It depends if Twitch lets him back in. It'll really hinge on that. There's a level of irony in that. It depends if they let him back him into the payment program, if you will, on Twitch. If they don't allow him back in November, I think so, October, November. If they don't let him back in, he's kind of fucked. He's kind of screwed. Because he can't keep going the way he's going. Like, clearly, he's slowly but surely falling apart. This is what he looks like losing a fiancé and trying to fly in another man's woman. And finding out about this alleged back state business occupation tax. This is what he looks like then. Look at him now. Like, look at how he's fallen apart in 4 years, give or take. So I would assume 2022 is not gonna be much better. It's certainly not gonna be much better.
Happen with your, you know, going on with your YouTube channels and your streaming and everything, because YouTube changing everything and you're making way less money and all this shit that you've gone through, and you're being, you know, we all know your situation because you tell us about it. That I'm an inspiration because I don't give up, right? Because I'm here every day and I'm still plugging through it, and I say, fuck it, fuck you to the trolls and everything. And look, we just had a major troll group that's been on my ass for years. We're gone now, finally, for good. And the thing is, I know that the negative association with me is never going to go away. There's always going to be people making fun of me on the internet. That's okay. At least now, though, it's...
What do I think Phil would look like when he has to get a job? He's going to look defeated. He will be defeated at that point. He will be defeated. Because the very people that he shits on, or the very people he preys upon, quote unquote, he's now become one of them. And that's like the only ground that he still has, so to speak. You know what I mean? He's the lucky one. He's the one in the million. He's not like the rest of these individuals. Big ups to Gunslinger. But if he has to get a job and essentially be reduced to being like everybody else, he's gonna be defeated. he's going to be defeated. And then if Catherine decides to make a move on him after that, I mean, what does he really have left? It's not going to look good. It doesn't look good now, but it's going to look a whole lot worse.
Seems like people who are trying to hurt me legitimately do harm to me. Those days may be at an end, which is a good thing. But, you know, all the adversity and shit that's been thrown my way over the years, so many people said, Phil, I would have given up, man. I would have went and said, fuck YouTube. I would have went and got a job or whatever and said, fuck this. You know, enough is enough, but you keep plugging through. You know, and I am. I'm doing my best, guys. I don't want to give up. I don't. I believe that I can still make this work if I still fucking dedicate myself and I get through stupid shit like what I'm about to start going through here coming up. Yeah. So we'll see. When I have information to share with you guys, I will. Right now, I don't think it would behoove me or you to be sharing information when I really don't have any definitive information on the true situation behind the scenes. So we'll see what happens, all right? If anything, thank you for watching the streams. Thank you for watching the YouTube videos. Thank you for being supportive. Thank you for your support, because I could not have gotten this far without you. That's the truth.
Do I think Phil has enough courage to do it, to end himself? He's sooner than later. I think honestly he would end himself before he would be forced out of his own house. Like going back to Connecticut for him is starting over. And think about that. He's gonna go back. Worst case scenario, right? No one's wishing anything on him. It's just look at where he came from and look at where he's at. So let's say this. Let's say he has to move back home. Let's say in the next 2 years, he's gonna be 42. He's gonna be fat. And he's gonna be alone. Because Catherine's not gonna want to make that move. You know what I'm saying? So what is he gonna have? He's got a fan base that he has castrated to the quick, so there's barely little to any of them left. He has to go back home and hear Mommy and Daddy Brunel basically be like, hey, you gave a good try, but, you know, when you got married in 2019, maybe you should have really listened to us. And then he has to go back to his old haunts that don't even exist. Most of the places that DarksydePhil used to hang out at, or whatever the case may be, have all closed up. You know what I'm saying? None of that exists anymore. And then any friends or acquaintances or whatever, they've all moved on. You know what I mean? They've all moved on. So he literally comes back to nothing. It's just him and his parents. And for Phil, that's nothing. You would think that's an opportunity for him to maybe humble himself, get reconnected with his parents, and try to move on. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that you can't build anything after 40, but you know what I mean? It'd be time for him to like actually move on. But he won't. He won't. He just doesn't have it in him. You see him on his days off, he's all over Twitter. You know what I mean? When's the last time that any of you remember him taking a day off on Twitter and literally just taking the whole day off? He just doesn't have it in him. He needs, for good or bad, whether positive or negative, this is what his life is, and he just can't give it up. It's all he has. It's the only thing that justifies, or let's not even say justifies, it's the only thing that acknowledges his existence. Because he himself isn't enough. He cannot look at his life with what's in front of him, his real life. Let's take the internet stuff away from it. He can't look at his real life and say, I'm proud of this. Or there isn't anything there of substance that he can be proud of. Or that he feels like he's accomplished. So the only thing that he has is this internet shit. It's the only thing that keeps his name alive. It's the only thing that keeps his name relevant. What's up, Paul? It's it. This is it. You know what I mean? So once everything is taken away from him, what other choice does he have? What other choice does he have? He has, there you go. He has no skills. He has no talent. He has nothing. He has nothing. And even if he has learned anything through this internet shit, he don't care. He's too resentful. He doesn't care. He'll literally blame anybody and everybody for his own fault. Or for his own falters, if you will. Or his own failures, I should say. Well, his faults and his failures. Let's go with that. He has nothing. When you break it down, he doesn't have anything. And he knew this back in 2017. He knew this back in 2015. It wasn't like he couldn't change. He didn't want to. He thought he could just keep banging his head against the brick wall, and eventually the brick wall was going to give way. And that's not what happened.
Odds on it. Shoot, there's no way I would have ever kept doing this without your support. If I didn't have the support that I have, how would I have gotten up in the morning to keep doing this? You know, with all the shit that I have to put up with. A long time ago, I think. And then, particularly this fucking year. Are you kidding me? I mean,
getting over. Jasper has allegedly has a urinary tract infection. This is his second one, so we may not even have Jasper for too much longer. It's getting rough. What's up, Sunspot? So it's he in a little while we may not even have Jasper.
The horrendous stuff. I mean, seriously, YouTube apocalypse. Break up with my girlfriend. False copyright strikes, and now what I'm going through now. And it's like, all in 1 year. That's enough that once a year one of those things is bad enough. I went through 4 of those fucking things now in a year. Gotta keep going, folks. We gotta keep going. Alright? Thank you for watching the weekly preview. Hope to see you for MVC, Mario plus Rabbids, and Cuphead this week. There will be a new DSP Tries It later in the week as well. I feel I should mention that because I forgot to. And that is it. Without further ado, 6 days left. Remember to pledge to Patreon. Without further ado, thank you to the August patrons who contributed and allowed me to keep doing what I do on a daily basis. Thank you, everyone. See you tomorrow.
Oh, I thought that was actually going to be funny, but that was just sad. Like, Jesus Christ, that was just fucking sad. And the video before that, the one that he mentioned, when he was saying that, I'm well known, but I'm not rich. Yeah, there's a lot of people that were well known that aren't rich. James Alester's well known. James, you rich? Ann Lee's well known. Are you rich? You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people on YouTube who are at least well known. Or at least known, I should say. They're not rich. I don't know what justifies that, or what makes him believe that because he's been around for a long time, he should have all of the rewards that other people who actually put the time and effort in were able to obtain. I don't get that. But now I'm interested in trying to find that video. It was probably like an emergency video or something. We'll go over it. Should be fun. All right, let's go into our third video. Let's see here. Let me pull this up real fast, and I will mute the first part of it, so it's nothing crazy. Excuse me. Okay, our third video is Phil or DSP Gaming's thoughts on what could I have said to my past self 5 years. Was that 5 years ago? Let me see something. Yeah, 5 years ago. Yet again, this is a Markus Daily Productions video. The link is in the description. Let's make sure we do this right. Okay. I think we were able to stop it before it got too late. Let's see here. Okay. Phil talking to himself 5 years in the past. That would be interesting. My bad. We dropped the ball on that. We dropped the ball on that.
This question is from Richter Tryhard. He says, Phil, if you could use a time machine to phone call yourself 5 years ago, what would you say to your younger self?
No, I feel you. Like I said, and that's a bit of ageism on my part, and I don't mean it like that, so you have my apologies. The thing is at 40, Phil can't build anything. He doesn't have the skills. He doesn't have the know-how. He didn't want any of those things. He didn't want to learn. He didn't want to be better or get better. He didn't want to surround himself with people who could help him to get better. You're not in that situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not in that situation. You could be 63 and still be in a better position than Phil is if, worst case scenario, you lost your job tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? The average person can bounce back from that. The below average person like Phil can't. He has nothing. All he can do is go back to mom and dad. And what is mom and dad going to have him do? They're going to coddle him for a year or two, and then he's going to go off and get some low-wage job, and he's just going to have to deal with it. That's it. Even if he went in, even if his business degree was worth a damn, and he was able to go in at entry level, mentally, he's going to go in and treat it just like any low-wage job. That's how he treats this. He treats YouTube, Twitch, whatever the case may be, whatever it is that he does, he treats it like it's just a low-wage 9-to-5 job. He has essentially all the freedom in the world in the fact that he can make his own schedule. He can do what he wants, right? He's essentially, what's the term that he's used? He's the master of his own destiny. But he boxed himself in, and he regimented himself to be just like anybody else. So he did it wrong from the beginning. He's good for trying to tell you guys, hey, I've got all this freedom, right? And I can do all this. But in practice, it's not there. It's just not. And you're talking about an individual who pissed his youth away chasing Street Fighter. And don't be wrong, it'd be different if he accomplished something. It'd be different if he had more to show from it. He don't. All he has is a couple little glory tournaments, one tournament that he co-ran that went well, but it really didn't go well, because if you went ahead and you actually go back and read some of the drama leading up to that tournament, it's basically a clusterfuck, and he threw a bunch of money at it that he didn't need to, so he took the hit on that for internet clout. He comes to YouTube, makes ridiculous money in like 3, 4, 5 years, and then blows it to buy a house out, well, blows it in a bunch of different ways, but goes and gets himself a house in Washington State, blows pretty much everything he had, paid 2 mortgages for 5 or 6 years, or even longer than that maybe, knowing damn well he couldn't afford it, knowing damn well that his income was shrinking up, and even when he was able to convince Panda to go and get a job, it still didn't help him. It didn't curve any of his spending. He didn't learn from any of the mistakes. He was used to living a certain type of way, and he was willing to do anything he could to keep it. And that's why the bankruptcy exists. What's up, Raven? Or Raiden? It's crazy how it all came about. Like it was avoidable. So much so that it's almost laughable. And that's what makes DarksydePhil. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. If DSP was 28, people would laugh at him. They would absolutely laugh at him. So, in reality, age doesn't really mean anything. But to be honest with you, it doesn't matter what age DarksydePhil is. He's never going to build anything. He's never going to do anything. Nothing of value. Nothing of any type of merit or consideration that warrants the type of accolades and the acclaim and the elevation that he feels that he deserves. It's just not there. It's never going to be there. And it's the body's already dead. The brain just hasn't caught it yet. And he just won't accept it. He just won't accept it.
I mean, holy shit. First of all, I mean,
you want me to okay, you said after this video, what would I tell Phil after 5 years? From 5 years ago? Yeah, I can do that. I can certainly do that.
There's a lot of things I would do. First of all, I would probably obviously say all the things about finances. Don't spend money on stupid shit. I mean, holy shit. As Phil, if you could use a time machine to phone call yourself 5 years ago, what would you say to your younger self? I mean, holy shit. First of all, I mean, there's a lot of things I would do. First of all, I would probably obviously say all the things about finances. Don't spend money on stupid shit like statues, because the money ain't gonna last, right? That's number one. Don't spend money on frivolous stuff at all, because the money ain't gonna last, and it didn't. Who knew? My money could have exponentially skyrocketed or could have tanked. It hasn't really done either. My money has kind of gone down at a small slope consistently, okay? But if I had known that, I probably would have saved every penny I could have, you know?
He's lying. He wouldn't have done that. Because at the end of the day, and you guys see it with Phil now. You saw it in the last video. I don't want to give up, man. I don't want to give up on what I have and what I'm doing. I don't want to do that. He'd never be able to do that. You know what I mean? Because one, he knew that the income was getting smaller and smaller and smaller by the year. He knew that. In 2017, his total income, meaning YouTube, Twitch, Patreon, and I think Teespring, he was at about the 100,000 mark. You know what I'm saying? Give or take. He was at the 100,000 mark. But that decline that he keeps talking about, he saw that month after month after month. You saw that in early 2017 when he was bitching about how ad revenue was low, but he didn't understand because his viewership wasn't that bad, but his viewership was bad. In 2015, he went from having 2015, he went from having something like 13 million views a month to like 10 million and dropping. You know what I'm saying? Something along that crazy ass timeline. And it just kept doing it. So he knew when shit was going bad that it was probably going to continue to go bad, and maybe, just maybe, you should start setting things in place just in case. And he never did it. All he did was find other ways for people to work harder for him, or other ways of trying to get more money out of people to shore himself up, which led to the bankruptcy. And then even after the bankruptcy, he's still crying broke. Even more so than he did before the bankruptcy. So no, that right, X the doubt on that.
Honestly,
yeah, exactly. Murphy's Law. What can go wrong will go wrong, but Phil doesn't look at it that way. It's if it does. What for Phil, it's like if it does go wrong, someone needs to pick up the pieces, and it can't be me because I did nothing wrong. I did everything correct.
He would have not. I'll be honest here. Bothered kind of going on some of the expensive trips I went on. Like some of those trips that I went to, some of those conventions and stuff. Were they nice to go to? Yeah. But they never panned out to really anything that too positive for me. And they were really, I mean, thousands of dollars. And I'll say this again because some people apparently don't hear me. I paid for everything on those trips. Whenever we went to a convention, I paid for everyone's plane tickets. I paid for the hotels. I paid for the transportation. That was all me. So I love it when people say, oh, Phil was a cheapskate. I paid for everything.
First, well, as it pertains to the cheapskate stuff, he recorded everything. So he was going to profit off of everything regardless. So him being a cheapskate in that, just because he forked out the money for him and John to go to E3 or whatever the case may be. John lugged all of the luggage. John did all the driving. John did the majority of the filming. And how much of that profit did he really see? If you go back to the John and Howard response, John said that he got his cut that they agreed on. Phil said he was handsomely paid. So whatever you want to make of that. As it pertains to, is it Phil's parents, his mother certainly, and his father, maybe even to some degree, have certainly propped him up in such a way throughout his life that has led him to the situation that he is now. You cannot coddle your children and expect them to learn from it. It goes back to like the old additive, for example, that my grandmother used to say, where if she's like, hey, the stove is hot, don't touch it. And she, you know what I'm saying? She may tell me one more time after that. And then if my dumbass goes over there and touches it, I've learned my lesson, right? Or if, for example, you're being a little too rough with your dog or whatever your pet is, right? And that pet tastes like a swipe at you or some shit. You kind of knew, hey, if someone told you, hey, don't be too rough with him like that. You know, take it easy with that. He's not used to being treated like that, or she's not used to be treated like that, or whatever. And then you just keep on doing it, you're going to get a response. And that's what happened with DarksydePhil. He ran around doing what he wanted, and then feinted ignorance afterwards. When he was doing it, he was acting like he was some big shot. Like he knew what he was doing. He's the realest motherfucker out here. No one's got shit to say to him. He's going to do what he wants. But then when it actually happened, that's when the ignorance comes into play. That's when, oh, I didn't know. Oh, why didn't anybody tell me sooner? Oh, I've been doing this for a long time. Why didn't I get a warning? It's stuff like that. It's stuff like that you shouldn't have to tell an adult or anybody with common sense that you shouldn't have to warn somebody like that. You shouldn't have to do those type of things. That just sounds really, really fucking stupid for the sake of being stupid. And I would assume he's done that his whole entire life. And every time something has happened to him, his parents were there to pick it up. What's the big thing going on right now? Because apparently people are starting to take a little bit more interest in his lore. Something about this car accident, right? Where supposedly half of his face is burnt off. You can look at his mug right there, right now. Where are the burns? Where are the scarring? Where's any of that? You don't see any scarring on his face whatsoever that wasn't self-inflicted by himself. You don't see any of that, so how did he almost die and he had his face scorched off? And then his whole story about this car accident don't even sound right. Because we know Phil has bad eyesight. He knows he should have been wearing glasses. According to what I've heard, I haven't even heard it out of his mouth yet. Supposedly he was driving 40 in a 55, and someone came up on him, and it sounds like he panicked, he swerved, and he drove himself into the goddamn railing. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like everything else in DarksydePhil's life, he self-inflicted that wound on himself. And he walked away from it, so you didn't really almost die. It just sounds like you caused the accident, and you're still not man enough to this day to just take responsibility for it. And maybe, just maybe, if you want to be this cool kid and you don't want to fucking wear your glasses or whatever, maybe you shouldn't drive. And ladies and gentlemen, that got rectified later. He made John do all the driving. He made Howard do all the driving. I'm surprised that before him and Panda moved from the East Coast to the West Coast, that he didn't help her get her license so she could do all the driving. I was always shocked by that. But so his upbringing contributes to what he is now, certainly. But at the same time, though, too, let's be honest with each other. Do you really think he's upfront with his parents on anything at all? I don't think he's told his parents the truth about a goddamn thing. I think he told them what they wanted to hear. I think his parents, even in some small way, know that he's lying. But it's their child. It's their son. So they're going to do what they can for him. And he took advantage of that. Just like he's take advantage of all these wheelchair symbols and everybody else. It's just what he is. He doesn't know anything different. When he had to work, when he had to have a real job, you heard all of his complaints. You heard of all of his gripes and shit. He felt like he was so talented, he worked really hard, and he wasn't getting paid for certain things. He wasn't getting promoted when he thought he should be promoted. He felt that other people were getting favorable treatment, and he wasn't getting it, and he didn't understand why. And then when he tried to speak up about it, more often than not, he ended up getting hit with the consequences of it. He got fired from one of his jobs based on that. There was some girl who was sleeping with one of the supervisors. He thought he was going to rat them both out because I think he had something for that girl. I think he felt something for her or whatever. Or he was just jealous of that guy. Who knows? But he tried to rat them out to a higher supervisor. And Phil ended up getting the boot because he's problematic. And why was that, ladies and gentlemen? Why was that, chat? Because he is problematic. He's the type of person that's toxic as fuck in any type of work environment. Look at his own work environment. Look at him in his little office, at home, in the comfort of his little gated community, and look at how much of a toxic piece of fucking trash he is. You want to put that around people? Look at the people that are in his chat, right? Each one of them he has poisoned in some way, shape, or form to have things, to have them see things his way, to have them look at life the way he does. Now, just imagine that in a worker's environment. Imagine if you can find 3 or 4 fucking people that are willing to see shit Phil's way. Imagine if he could get a supervisor or someone in upper management that could see things his way and how he would try to play off of that. Think about that.
I paid everyone's way everywhere we went, so I don't know what the fuck people are talking about. They like to make shit up to make them look better, but I paid for everything all the time. So every trip we went on, I was dumping several $1,000s, if not more, for everything. And it really didn't pan out. It was fun, but it really didn't pan out to anything that like made me a lot of money for YouTube. It didn't really benefit the business that much. I thought maybe long-term it would, and it ended up it didn't. So in that regard, maybe I kind of...
Now, that right there, that little part that you heard towards the end, that's a slap at the Project 7 situation, where he said that, oh, you know, I was going to keep the ad revenue because I didn't agree to split that with anybody else, and we were just going to split like T-shirts or whatever else that we're doing on this little trip. Which is funny because he's like, oh, I didn't make any money off the Project 7 videos, which has hundreds of thousands of views, right? But he made thousands upon thousands of dollars off of DSP Tries It, and he only had maybe 10 or 15,000 views on those.
Wouldn't have spent money on that. Certainly, one thing that I would have done, which I thought I had done, would cover my bases when it comes to business relationships. And what I mean by that is mixing friendship and business always kind of leads to problems. And I was very wary about this, because I'll be honest with everyone. When I was starting out with YouTube, I had known about what had happened with Screw Attack. Many of you may not know what happened with Screw Attack. ScrewAttack.com, all right, before they even were ScrewAttack.com, they were a group of friends and gamers who wanted to make gameplay videos, reviews, all kinds of fun, creative stuff for the internet. They were very successful, but as they were trying to change the business and expand and do all this stuff, there was a major disagreement and dissension between the ranks. It was Oh, God. Stuttering Craig and Handsome Tom. They were the two figureheads of the business. They were the two main guys involved, and there were all these other people with them, but they were the two big guys who basically were in charge. The two of them ended up having major business disagreements. They completely destroyed their friendship, weren't even friends anymore, separated. Tom went off to do his own thing, while Craig went off to keep doing Screw Attack. And it's kind of sad, because these are two guys who we saw on camera for years who were friends, right? And they had apparently never up front talked about concretely settling business arrangements, ended up having a business.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what his what the amount of money was that he was making on ad revenue at that time. But yeah, Project 7 he made a killing off of. That's why he was so invested in doing more. Because remember, I think Project 7 ended after episode, 4, 5? Something like that, something along those lines. Maybe it went a little further, but it wasn't much. This dude right here already had season 2 and potentially season 3 planned out. That's how far ahead he was looking at it. Well, you wouldn't do something like that if it wasn't profitable, right? Which is funny because that right there coincides with, it kind of conflicts with, if Project 7 was working out so well for him, right? Would he have actually moved to Washington? Would he have ever left Connecticut? And think about all the money he threw in it for props and all this extra shit. But then when you go back and you actually listen to the John and Howard response, Phil only showed up on the days that he needed to film. Like, he needed to actually be in this picture. Everything, when some of that other stuff, that was John Howard and Respect the Pack or OJ, that was them filming all that stuff. So a lot of the real work didn't even have anything to do with Phil. Yeah, he was part of the writing process, supposedly. You know what I'm saying? Or he contributed whatever he contributed to it. But when you think about the actual filming and everything, he wasn't there for that unless he actually needed to be in it. Unless he actually needed to be in that scene. So yet again, there was somebody else that was carrying the load, if you will, or doing the heavy lifting. This lazy fuck couldn't even help contribute to it. And he's not paying any of these guys, by the way. None of these guys are getting paid because none of these guys wanted any money, right? Right? Right. None of these guys wanted any money. They just wanted publicity.
Disagreement and lost that friendship. Does that sound familiar to anyone? Because that's pretty much exactly what happened to me. For me, it's a little bit different. Because for me, when I started with YouTube, I wasn't intending on doing YouTube as a business ever. I had started on YouTube as a hobby. I wasn't intending to ever make money doing it. It was just something as a silly side thing. I would go to a tournament and record. I would record myself swearing at a silly game, you know? And then when I ended up losing my job and I had nothing to fall back on, then I started doing YouTube as a job, and all of a sudden it exploded as this great profitable thing. And I said, I'm going to bring all my friends into it. Let's have people come over and play games with me constantly and go to tournaments and do co-op and do all these events, and let's do creative series together. And I kind of saw it as a fun social thing that people could all have fun together and make money together at the same time. I didn't necessarily see it as business. Sadly, now I know some people saw it as business rather than us just kind of getting together to have fun, and that's really where it went wrong. Now,
but that's the fucked up part. So he's sitting here making all this money, right? Because he's filming all these interactions, right? Because John and Howard both pointed it out. They wanted to go out somewhere and just hang out and just chill. No, Phil has to record all of it, and they're like, "Yo, Phil, man, what are you doing, bro? We're just trying to have a good time with this." "Oh, I need this, man. This is my job." So this whole lie about how, I thought it was us being buddies and just hanging out, and it's just a fun interaction, but these guys apparently looked at it as business. No, because you made it a business. Because those fun interactions with a bunch of people hanging out and playing games, guess who's recording that? Guess who's going to go ahead and put that on YouTube and make money off of it? That's where the disconnect is. He's okay with it being his business, but, you guys want to get cut in on this? Nah, see, now that's a problem. See, it's business for me, while I can have fun with this, but you guys are the co-stars. You guys are the supporting cast. You shouldn't ask me for anything. Just sit there and have a good time. You know what I'm saying? Just sit in my little snorty condo and have a good time and entertain me and entertain my audience, and I reap the rewards off that, not you guys. That's what he wanted. That's exactly what he wanted. And then when he started getting pushback, oh my God, like, why are you guys turning against me? So this gives you an idea of what his overall issues are. And this is something that other detractors have pointed out. He don't want to pay nobody. Tevin's definitely pointed it out. He said he doesn't want to pay his bills. He don't want to pay his friends. He don't want to do nothing. And the bankruptcy proves all that. Spend, 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 spend. But once people start coming knocking for their money, then all of a sudden we got problems. All of a sudden we got issues. All of a sudden it's not fun anymore because now you guys are trying to bring the real life into it. It's really shitty. It's really fucking shitty. Yeah, he very much, actually, that's a great point. Howard and Rambo were nothing more than servants. And see, if he had gotten that office space that he wanted in Connecticut, 2013, if he had gotten that office space, that's exactly what he would have, exactly what he would have done. He would have had them there, putting up gameplay footage and whatever, right? Or playing the game. He'll have a computer there so he can chop up all the footage, right? Post that shit online, reap the rewards of it. Maybe he buys them lunch, once or twice a week or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? And then that's it. He goes home, he drinks himself stupid, and he reaps the rewards of it. And he would have done that for as long as they tolerated it. Now, keep in mind, John was getting paid, but Howard wasn't. OJ wasn't. Some of those other guys that were coming by every once in a while weren't. So keep it all friendly, right? Keep it all fun. And I'll go ahead and buy stuff, right? I'll come out of pocket because I'm not a cheapskate, but don't ask me for money directly. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Again, I don't know what happened with the screw attack people, but the same thing pretty much happened with me. And that sucks. I wish I could have gone back and said, all right, if I'm going to talk $1 of money to anyone with anything we're going to do together, we're going to outline it up front.
Here, let me bring that back real quick because he could barely even look at the camera because he know he's lying. He could barely look at the camera when he talks about this money and his friends thing.
Happened with the screw attack people, but the same thing pretty much happened with me. And that sucks. I wish I could have gone back and said, all right, if I'm going to talk $1 of money to anyone with anything we're going to do together, we're going to outline it up front. Because by not outlining it up front, it led to the chaos that happened later. Although I'll be honest, in a lot of ways, there were things I did up front. There's a lot of miscommunication and bullshit. One thing that I will say, because I am angry at this, and I will say this once, and I'm never going to really bring it up again. With respect to the pact when it came to Project 7, I concretely, in both in-face discussions and through email, outlined to them.
Now, here's where the story gets shaky, and this is me giving you guys a little bit of a taste, if you will, when we eventually get into this John and Howard video. That story about the amount of times he's talked to Respect the Pack has changed multiple times. It went from, big ups, dude. It went from, we had a conversation and they didn't want any money. Right? This was Phil and Respect the Pack. Howard and John were nowhere to be seen when this happened. They had a conversation with each other. They don't want money. They just want popularity. They want exposure. Then that ended up morphing into, we had another conversation. Me, John, Howard, Respect the Pack. It was at a Snortbucks. Sorry, it was at a Starbucks, but it should have been at a Snortbucks. They had a conversation there. You know what I'm saying? Over cappuccino, macchiatos, or whatever the case may be. And you know what I'm saying? And they sat there and they talked it over, and they were like, yeah, this is how we're going to outline it. Do you guys really want money? Now, John and Howard never speak of that situation where they all sat down at the Starbucks and they talked about how they were going to split this money up. That never happened, or because they never brought it up. So either they were memory holding it, or it never happened. And now he's saying, I've conversated with them over emails, and they concrete said that they didn't have it. If that's the case, then where are the emails at? If you're comfortable with showing or reading out, I should say, John Rambo's text messages, you're telling me you can't read out an email saying, hey, this never happened? It's still chapping your ass. You're still mad about it. So clearly you'd want to really clear the air and let it all go, right? But he never did that. Just like that whole situation with YouTube and Machinima when they told him he says, they told him to delete all those videos. He never produced the email that proves that either. And what does he have to lose by telling people the truth on that? Nothing. It sticks to the narrative that he is this persecuted artist and everybody was looking to fuck him over. And we'll never get the truth. And the reason why we'll never get the truth is because it didn't happen the way he said it did. And we all know that. We all know that. No, you're good. Welcome. Like I said, dude, this whole thing that I've ever done is based on being late. So it's no problem, man. Like I said, thanks for coming by and welcome.
When we started, that I would consider maybe doing something monetary down the line, paying them for their work, and they told me up front they didn't want any money. We don't want money. We're looking for attention. We want our YouTube channel to blow up. So with this Project 7, with all the work we're putting in, we're going to hope to get plugs and everything so people will come over and check out our stuff, okay? And that was it. Now, 6 months, 8 months down the line, after they put all this work into Project 7, they weren't seeing they weren't getting what they wanted out of it. And then they decided they didn't want to do Project 7 anymore. But they weren't really transparent with me about it. I guess basically they told everyone under the sun about this except for me that they would have liked money.
Logic, yeah. On the next stream, actually, I can go ahead and actually put the video or I can put out the year that the video comes out. That's not a problem. Yeah, I can absolutely do that. It's no problem. I think someone else had pointed out that he can't give them compensation and give them exposure. That's yet again. That's the asshole in him, basically. That's the asshole in him. He's like, I'm the one with the... Look at it this way. He's the one with the platform. He's the one with the name. Right? So you doing this... You coming to me with this project and you wanting to do all the legwork and everything and all of that, if you guys didn't have the platform, then you guys would have never been able to get any exposure in the first place. So that's really what it comes down to. And then it's also a really nasty backslap, right? Because, hey, look at how big my channel is. Over 100,000, right? I'm getting millions of views a year, right? Or whatever the case may be, tens of millions of views a year. Or not even that. Hundreds of millions of views back then, a year. And if you guys can't get popular, if you guys can't be relevant, that's your fault. That has nothing to do with me. And that's his way out. Or that's what he thought was his way out. And it's really shitty that that's what his situation is, or what he believes his situation is, but that's what he's kind of going with. So, hey, if you guys failed, you guys failed. Like he did that in an AKT or ATK, Ask the King, where he was commenting on John Rambo's project, his pet project, which was Snozman and Hole Punch. And he was like, it's a great series, and he put a lot of time into it. And he actually, if I remember correctly, John actually hired actors to come out there and to play these roles and stuff like that. And they barely get any views. But John didn't monetize those videos because he knew they weren't going to get any views. He did it for artistic expression. And I'm the one in the million. I'm the lucky one. I am the one who was fortunate enough to make it. And it hurts me that John couldn't make it, because John has a lot of talent, and it's very clear for anybody who watches his content. But not everybody can be lucky like me. This is what this ass clown said, and had the nerve to feel confident in saying that. That's supposed to be your best friend, right? This is that same best friend who got you popular, who helped get you popular, I should say. He's been there since almost day one. Whether from the wrestling content to the co-op play to the vlogs, I could name it over and over and over again on all the shit John contributed to help Phil get to where he's at. But at that moment, when John was putting out all this content and Phil perceived it as he was failing because he wasn't getting tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of views on these videos, oh, I'm sorry that you weren't good enough, John. I'm sorry that I tried. I gave you a platform and you couldn't make it happen. I'm sorry. What more was I supposed to do? So you can go ahead and extend that logic over to respect the pack and everything else that came with it. Which goes back to the even more shittier aspect when it comes to those t-shirts, right? John put in the story is like this. It's supposedly $900 to make all these shirts up, right? 300 came from John, 300 came from Howard, and 300 came from Phil. And yet Phil was still taking a profit, or taking a cut, I should say, from these t-shirts. Why? You're the one who's making all this money on YouTube, right? You're making all this ad revenue. Throw the $300 in on that And then whatever is made from those t-shirt sales, let John and Howard have that. Hell, cut Respect the Pack in on what should be your share and let them have that. What did you need? Which feeds back into the greed. The greed is massively strong, and there's no fucking self-control. He didn't need that little bit of money. What was $300 to him? He should have been able to let them have that. And if it didn't work out, it didn't work out, but he could have at least given that up. You know what I mean? It doesn't make you look like a total asshole. He wanted his hands into everything. And then I think if they were going to work on a DVD, he wanted a piece of that too. He wanted a piece of that also. And for what? You're making thousands upon thousands of dollars on the ad revenue. You tell me John and Howard couldn't, and Respect the Pack couldn't get a piece of everything else? What are you going to do? Yeah, I know. Yeah, John made the DVD for Snozman and Hole Punch, but I'm thinking, because I swore I heard him say it somewhere, that Phil wanted, after the season 1 was done of Project 7, he wanted to do a DVD as well, and they wanted to sell it. And I wouldn't be surprised if he did it, to be honest. I wouldn't be surprised that he would go that route. But it didn't matter. It didn't happen.
Well, they never said that to me. So there was no way that I could have actually known that. Now, answering...
what do I think John and Howard's thoughts would be on Phil today? With his marriage to Kat, banned from... I think they would feel sorry for him. I think John especially. I think Howard understands whatever relationship he had with Phil didn't really exist and Phil was using him, and you just write that off. I think that's how Howard would take it. I think even then, I still think Howard would probably feel bad. I think John really would just feel bad for him. I think he would actually feel bad. I think the marriage would be something to congratulate Phil on, but when you see the interactions and when you hear how Phil describes his interactions with his wife, he would just say it's just a really sad situation. And he'd probably be like, I wish him the best, but it's sad. It's sad that it came about that way. I think that's how they would look at it. I don't think they're malicious enough to laugh at his scorn like that. I don't think they would, to be honest. Which makes them better people than me, because I enjoy laughing at that shit. I really do. Especially how the same ass clown wants to go online when other people lose their jobs or when other people get in the fucked up spots and laugh at them and say they had it coming, they deserved it. But I think John and Howard have a little bit more on the ball to not do that.
This question from Richter Tryhard. I know it's bullshit. When people tell you they probably don't want money, it's bullshit. Bottom line is everyone wants money. The bottom line is everyone wants a cut. Everyone wants a piece. Everyone wants something, right? When they see someone who's making out, they want some of that. Even if, regardless if they are a big piece of it or not, they want some of it, all right? And I get that. And I should have sat down with everyone who was involved with all the projects that I did over the years ahead of time and said, listen.
Real quick. Yes, he did lose a lot of people over that. Because John and Howard were believable. When they said something, you could believe it. And that's what ended up fucking over Phil. That's why Phil got the first one taken down. That's why the original was taken down in the first place, and then it was uploaded to all these different places, and then detractors started mirroring it everywhere, which is something that, honestly, even to this day, all detractors, well, maybe not all of them, but you know what I mean, any detractor should have a mirror of that on their channel. People need to remember and not forget what happened. You can put whatever you want in the background, but people need to, every detractor should probably have that up there, for sure. But, it exposed Phil for what he was. And for people who were already on the fence about Phil, or already had doubts about Phil, or were really wondering on why John and Howard weren't around, this kind of closed the circle, if you will. And then supposedly Phil made a response, but he never put it out there. Maybe because someone got in his ear and was like, hey, if you do this, it's going to make you look so much more worse. And if these guys decide to do a tell-all on you, you could be fucked. And they let it go. We'll never know. We'll never really know. But clearly, that first video had enough impact that people woke the fuck up and they left him. And they should have. You shouldn't support someone who would treat allegedly his best friends like that. Sorry. Howard wasn't really a friend. He was just an associate of John's. Which is weird because right before Phil left, he basically shamed Howard, or guilt-tripped Howard, I should say. He guilt-tripped Howard into coming over and finishing a playthrough with him. And he told Howard, if you don't do this, we were never really friends. Over a playthrough, my guy? Over a playthrough. You know what, Sunspot? Hey, it's actually Sunspot will work great. Hey, Sunspot, if you don't play Tekken with me later, we were never friends, bruh. We were never cool. Ever. Anime Gun. There you go. You're another one. If you don't play Street Fighter V with me tomorrow, we were never really friends, man. We were never really cool. It's like that crazy shit. That's some wild, retarded shit to say to anybody. It's just a fucking playthrough, man. Who gives a shit? You were willing to put your friendship on the line. You were willing to put your friendship on the line over a video game? Raven, you're another one. Hey, Raven, if you don't send me another really hot jazz track, we were never friends. It's like that. It's just petty, dumb shit like that. And he has the nerve to sit here and say, oh, they couldn't separate business from friendship and shit. Oh, I should have kept everything I should have kept everything in writing. I should have told everybody whatever. I mean, what the fuck? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, did these people not mean nothing to you? They really didn't. They were just there to be profited from. They were just there to be profited from. They had no value at all. And they were okay with it. Matter of fact, there's Paul right there. Hey, Paul, if you and me don't collaborate on another short story, we were never friends, bruh. It's, you know what I'm saying? Like, what grown man thinks like that? Like, what grown man thinks like that?
We're going to work on this together and it becomes profitable. Here's how we'll all split the profits. But I didn't do that. I assumed that because we were all friends, we'd be able to work it out. And it didn't work out like that. That sucks. It sucks that I lost those friendships because of bullshit behind the scenes that I was never notified of until I'd already moved across the country. But that's life, I guess, you know. So that being said, that's one of the things definitely. I mean, I would have told myself, any relationship with your friends, you're going to bring them into business, you must hash it out ahead of time or things will go south. I obviously would have told myself to just mellow out and not be as uptight and defensive as I have been over the years. As I already said this publicly before, but I do feel that my initial reaction to when people were doing things like this is how you don't play videos and stuff like that really hurt me, because back then I didn't understand that a lot of it was meant to just be silly and be fun, versus now a lot of them aren't. A lot of them are malicious and evil and just fucking trying to rip me a new asshole and make me look like a horrible person so that no one will ever go to my YouTube channels and watch my content ever. But back then they weren't necessarily that bad or even like that whatsoever.
And he's right. They made him look incompetent. And it cut out the bullshit and it made that shit look funny. And it made it entertaining. And instead of... He could have reached out to Evil AJ and they could have worked out some... Any other person could have reached out to Evil AJ, worked out some type of business type situation where, okay, man, I'm going to do my playthroughs and whatnot. I'm shitty at games. I'm going to do my fucking terrible playthroughs, right? You're going to cut that shit up and we're going to split the profits or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because Phil had the larger channel or whatever the case may be. They could have done all that. You know what I mean? There was ways of profiting and spreading that profit out. Now, that's to someone who's reasonable. For DSP, he looked at it as, oh, you're going to attack me? Who the fuck are you? Oh, you were a former fan of mine and you got mad because of whatever? Fuck you. I'm going to bury you. And he tried to. And all he did was make it bigger. And all he did was start this huge movement that haunts him to this very day. I'm still of the theory that he sandbags his playthroughs because he's scared of this is how you don't play. He's scared of that next big this is how you don't play that may or may not get a couple 100,000 views on it and is going to completely and totally write him off as ever being a gamer or ever being worth of anything, ever having any type of value to his content or whatever else. I guarantee it. And the fact that he would sandbag his own content that he makes money off of, that he makes a living off of, because he's scared of what other people may do with it, is pathetic. It is absolutely pathetic. Because that is putting his well-being, that's putting Catherine's well-being, he's putting all that He's putting his ego, I should say, before all of that. And for what? And for what? Because he's a fucking mark for himself? Because he believes he's better than anything? Oh yeah, same thing with you, James Lester. If you and me don't do that Project Paperclip video, we're not friends anymore. Exactly. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So, like, and as much as we talk about his love for money, and trust me, it's there, his ego wins out even over that. Even to this day, because he has nothing else. He's got nothing else. I swear to you. If I know anything, or if you could take anything away that I say about Phil, outside of him being that walking ATM, that's probably one of my better ones, to be honest with you, and he's nothing more than bacon, and he'll always be bacon, is that he'll always put his ego before other people. The people that he supposedly cares about. He'll always do it. Oh, I bet you he does replay that Metal Gear Solid This Is How You Don't Play. I bet you anything he goes back and he continues to watch that shit. I'm sure he do. And he looks at the comments that he can't control, that he can't make go away, and that shit eats him at night. It eats him at night. I guarantee it. You know what I mean? Just like how he watches the Snort Burnell videos. He probably watches the James Lester videos. Anything that comes out on him, he's watching it. He's watching it. And it burns his ass. You don't have to deal with that shit. Just like all the troll comments that show up, or the trolls that come into his chat. You don't have to deal with that shit. Don't look at it. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck? Like, that shit shouldn't bother you. It shouldn't bother anybody. Unless they're getting really out of hand, getting egregious. You shouldn't be worrying about shit like that. Keep it moving. But he can't do that. Do I think he'll... Yes, he'll... Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, Storm Rage. He'll throw Catherine under the bus to save himself. Absolutely. Because when Panda left, that's all he did. He blamed everything on her. He blamed everything on her. She took the fall for everything. The dirty house, the fact that their relationship fell apart, the fact that he jerked off on stream, that was all Panda's fault. So hell yeah, he'd throw that shit on Catherine if he could. Absolutely. I don't doubt that for a second.
I almost wish that I had known what they were, because again, I don't really watch the videos, and this is how you don't play videos. I maybe watched snippets or parts of them, and never watched the things in their entirety. A
lie, a big X to fucking doubt. I watched a little bit. I watched snidbits, but I never watched it all the whole way through. Oh, you mean like how Monday Matt was like, Dame Peso? Who's that? The Soyless Matt show? What's that? Oh, well, I watched a little bit of it. I didn't watch it all. I watched enough to see what I could claim for copyright. What? Oh, wait, Max, you said, or wait, Matt, you said you didn't know who Dame Pesos was. You said that you never watched that. Now you're saying that you did watch it? Well, wait a second. Then you said you watched it to see how much content was in there that you could use for copyright? What? Same depth and style. You're right. It's Tevin's fault.
And because of that, what people told me about them ended up being what I thought was a fact about them, when in reality that wasn't really what was a fact about a lot of them. I kind of wish I had reached out to these people and had conversations with them about it and said, that's kind of funny. I'd like to actually, laugh and joke with you about it. Maybe let's collaborate maybe on something and do something silly together, right? Rather than, oh, I'm so angry that people stole my videos and made a hateful video about me against my will. Instead, if I had been more open-minded like I have been. I mean, let's give you a perfect example. Last year, my incident, right? My accident. We all know what I'm talking about,
Yeah, the accident that you blamed on depression and you blamed on Panda. And no problem, man. I'm glad I can help you out in some way, shape, or form. Like I said, an hour drive home, man, it definitely can feel longer than an hour for sure. So I'm glad I can help in any way. But yeah, the incident. You remember my depression? Remember, it was Panda's fault because we were going through a really rough time and that was the only way I could get my pig juice flowing. Yeah, exactly. The incident.
When it happened, if I'd reacted, oh, fuck everyone, you're all dicks for making fun of me and blah, 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 probably would have been the end of me on YouTube. But instead I reacted in a way, you know what? It happened. You're right. Let's all laugh together. People made fucking memes about it. I loved them. I retweeted them. I made them my goddamn profile on places.
Nah, that didn't happen immediately. We denied all that. We said we were scratching our leg. These brain dead idiots didn't know what they were talking about. Videos were being taken down. Let's keep it a buck. It was when Keemstar and some of those other big guys were coming in laughing at that shit and whatnot. Phil thought, oh, well, maybe I can capitalize on it then. Maybe I can chill out with this. And then started retweeting and all that nonsense. Had Rich from Review Tech USA fooled, thinking that, because I remember Rich made that video saying, oh, look at DSP. He's starting to handle the situation bad. You should have been paying more attention, Rich. He was trying to get shit taken. He was getting shit taken down. And then later on, try to blame it on Machinima. Oh, Machinima was the ones who did that. I didn't do that. I had no say-so in that. They did that on their own. When did Machinima go around and just start taking people's videos down without telling or being consulted by the actual partner to do that? If anybody can answer that question, by all means, please do. But since when is that a thing? The fact that Machinima didn't drop him for that still shocks me to this day. It still shocks me to this day how he got away with that. But, it is what it is.
It was a lot of fun. I rolled with it. And because of that, it didn't negatively affect me at all. In fact, if anything, I had a little bit of splur. Oh, God, I said, didn't mean to say it that way. I had an increase. I had a temporary increase in popularity for a little while there because people saw that I took it so well and like, damn, that's a guy who knows how to roll with a punch, right? If I had done that back when...
That's not true either. Now, it's true that he did get that boost. I'm not going to call it a spurt. He means a squirt, by the way. Skeet. He did get a bit of an influx or so on and so forth, but he couldn't capitalize off of it. So then after that, they left. You know what I mean? Even in a situation like that, he should have been able to capitalize, and he still didn't capitalize off of it. For good, bad, or otherwise, he still couldn't capitalize off that shit. So, I don't know. I just don't know.
Don't play started. We could be in a completely different fucking situation than we are right now. The problem is, you can't foresee that. You can't go back. You can't change time. You can't change the past.
Yeah, Hood, that's pretty funny, actually, Hood. I gotta admit, that's kind of funny.
And that sucks. Anything else? I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I really am.
What up, Black Doom?
Shit, I mean, I probably would have warned myself to be a hell of a lot more careful when it comes to fan art and stuff like that, because that's what led to me getting struck with all those false copyright strikes that destroyed my business, honestly, and that's why I'm in the financial situation I'm in right now. Being plain honest truth with you, that is why. Yeah, I would have maybe continued to see a gradual slow decline in my income if I hadn't changed and improved and done stuff. But that hit that I took in 2015 has permanently fucked over DSP Gaming. That channel literally is doing half as good as it did 2 years ago because of the false copyright strikes. It's bullshit. That's probably the thing. So to recap, I'd probably say, number one, if I could call myself 5 years in the past, don't spend money on stupid shit like collectibles and stuff. It's not going to pan out. It's a waste of time. Be careful when you involve your friends in your business. Hash stuff out ahead of time to avoid situations like the screw attack situation, and then incidentally the situation I found myself ended up being in years later. Roll with the punches when it comes to people doing stuff like making fun of you and stuff like that. Laugh with it rather than get angry at it, and things will turn out a lot better, right? And be super careful with who you trust. There you go. Those are the 4 things I probably would have told past me. All right.
And past me, or past him, or past Ree would have just failed and repeated history, basically. All right, so if I could tell DarksydePhil 5 years from when that happened, so that was 2017. So if I could tell 2012 Phil anything, I suppose, I would be like, you're going to have a really, really limited run. It's going to be really fucking short. And so if you're going to take advantage of it, save every drop of money that you get and get the fuck out. You're not going to have a long run. And you relying on people to give you money behind the scenes, which he was already doing at that time. You relying on people to click ads on your videos. You relying on people to support the videos and circulate all that stuff around you. No one gives a shit about you like that. You're going to have a very, very limited run. You're going to have 4 or 5 years at best. Get out. That's the first thing. Secondly, don't quit your day job. Everything that he does right now, he could do and still have a job. Tevin does it. Everybody, essentially every detractor does it. We all have fucking jobs. We all have careers. And this is just something that we do on the side. It can be incredibly profitable, and he could still have a stable income. And if he did that, he would have been so much better off. Don't quit your fucking day job. You got fired. Ask your dad to give you some numbers to some other companies and go off and do that. And pick back up and start all over again. Because let's be honest, the only reason why he was at where he was at and making the amount of money he was making was because of nepotism. Let's call it how we see it. It was nepotism. If daddy wasn't there, he wouldn't have been making as much as he was. If daddy wasn't there, he wouldn't have had the opportunities, air quotes, that he had. Let's just keep it a buck with each other. So don't quit your fucking day job, dude. You can do both. You can do both. And if nothing else, people would respect him more, and there would be more to him. There would be more for him to talk about because he's actually out there interacting with people and he's actually doing shit. You see what it's like to be a fucking hermit, right? You become extremely antisocial. You become extremely fucking, well, he's been prejudiced, but you're antisocial. You have anxiety issues if he didn't already have that already. He's extremely fucking paranoid, right? He doesn't feel a need or have any pride in what he looks like when he comes on camera because why should he? Why should he? He's not going out and talking to anybody. He looks at these people as if they should be there. Not instead of he's grateful that they are there. You know what I'm saying? So don't quit your day job and continue. And if you can grow as a person outside of this internet shit, then you have more to contribute to this internet shit. 3. Well, actually, I think that's 4. You're going to have haters, bruh. You're going to have people that are not going to fucking like you. They're not going to like your fucking takes. They're not going to like the way you talk. They're not going to like anything about you. Deal with it. If you can't deal with it, shut the fucking computer off and take your ass somewhere else. End of story. First off, you should never going into any of this expecting people to love you. That's the first thing. 2, you should never expect people to like you. 3, if you believe in you, that should be enough to carry the day. Period. If you don't have that, then you don't need to be here. Which is one of the larger problems, one of the larger overall problems that early DarksydePhil had, and he admitted this. I'm still looking for that video. He said that if he didn't have YouTube, he wouldn't have anything. YouTube made him whole, if you will. It gave him a reason to keep going. That's why I keep saying, and I'll continue to say it, YouTube was the worst thing that ever happened to him. Because if you're thinking like that, then you shouldn't be doing this. You just shouldn't. You're clearly not mentally strong enough to be doing this. So then don't. You need to work on you. You need to learn how to like yourself. You need to be comfortable with yourself before you can expect anybody else to take you seriously. Before you can take any... I appreciate that. You need to have the utmost confidence and be reassuring to yourself before anything else. When I step to this mic, right, I'm going to make mistakes. I'm going to fuck up. There's going to be somebody that's going to want to hate on me or whatever the case may be. That comes with the territory, bruh. That comes with the territory. It is what it is. That's not going to stop me from doing what I'm doing. And lashing out at those people does nothing. That does nothing. That's energy that's being wasted. So that whole mentally untouchable bullshit that low-tier God likes to spit, he's not mentally untouchable, and no one is. No one is. But if you really believe in yourself, you're going to take this and you're going to move with it. If not, you don't need to be doing it. You really don't. This whole concept of an internet safe space is an illusion. At the end of the day, for you to be safe is that other people lose their right to speak their mind. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, you need criticism. You need criticism because that's how you're going to get better. Because if everybody tells you you're great, you're perfect, keep doing what you're doing, and there's no balance to that, like real balance, then you're never going to learn and you're just going to be stagnant. And that's what DSP always wanted. He was tired of being criticized. He was tired of being shitted on. He was tired of being overlooked. And so he needed people that not like the content. He needed people to love him. And that's where Phil, and that leads to my next point. Phil, the internet don't love you. The internet don't even really care about you. You are, if this is just content that you're providing, right? Because Phil tells us that. Oh, my early self didn't care about the content I was putting out. I was just putting it up there and that's it. If that's really how you feel, then you should just deal with that. If that's really your approach to all of this, then deal with that. But see, that's not what you wanted. You wanted people to accept you and love you for you before you could even do that yourself. You knew that content was trash. You knew that you were acting like an asshole. You knew you were stealing other people's jokes or whatever the case was, that Howard Stern thing. You were so busy trying to get yourself over, quote unquote. You were so busy trying to get people invested in you that you eventually forgot about the content. And now look at him. We already know who he really is. That's done. And the content is trash. Because he doesn't have any content. It's just some dude playing games, slopping through it. He doesn't have any feeling or affinity towards the game. It's just another day in the life. I had a chance to see, big up the Dark Dave Mirrors. I had a chance to see a little bit of that, his Hades stream last night. Maybe an hour of it, give or take, before I actually jumped on here. That was the most miserable thing I ever saw. All of the opportunities and advantages that game gives you, right, as it pertains to your character, to constructing a build, he didn't do any of it. He disregarded all of that. He went for what he thought was the cheapest shit possible to try to get him through, and he still got bodied. I saw a particular section, and then I'll move on. This dude had like 146 hit points, and he dropped down to like 80 in one exchange. And for the life of me, I can't understand how he did it. I don't understand how that happens. You dashing around like a fucking moron isn't going to help you. And then you buffed yourself up for this dash, I don't know if it's a dash reflect or whatever the case may be, and you're still not doing it, or you're not doing it properly. So why'd you invest all those points in there? When you had another choice, I think every dash attack he does, he regains like a little bit more of his life over time. Why didn't you go for that? If your vitality, right, is an issue to you, if your hit points are an issue to you because you lose it so goddamn quickly, why the fuck didn't you just invest in that? And then he had the nerve to say, the reason why that fight didn't go well is because of the build. It's the build's fault. You know what I'm saying? You're the one who constructed the build. I watched you do it. I sat there and I watched you construct this build or add on to it, whatever the case may be, and you still fucked up. How does that happen? How the fuck does that happen? So, there's the next thing. As it pertains to the content, you have to change with it. Well, so getting on to my next point. You have to change with the tides. You can call it a fad, you can call it whatever you want to call it, but you have to change with it. You have to change with it because it shows versatility. It shows growth. If you're not willing to do that, you're going to be left behind. And no one is going to sit there and give a fuck about sentimental value and want to throw you thousands upon thousands a day. No one's going to want to come to a stream and listen to you for 4 or 5 fucking hours, right? Or whatever the case may be. And you're not presenting them with anything. It's the same old stagnant shit over and over and over again. No one wants to see that. And then you shitting on people who are successful or who have gone on to do greater things, and you're sitting there being like they're all sellouts, they're all the chosen few or whatever. That makes you look just as fucking ignorant, right, as the very people who want to get rid of gaming altogether because they feel that it's a toxic behavior, it's a toxic environment, it's toxic for kids to come into, especially with all the child abuse that was going on. It's unsafe for women because all these women are putting themselves in situations, or all these women are being put into crazy situations where obviously very uncomfortable stuff is happening. You're feeding into that type of stereotype. Because even though he's not accused of that, he is accused of lying to his audience. He is accused of poaching his audience for potential girlfriends and mates. He's definitely accused of fucking mistreating his audience who are younger than him or physically and psychologically disabled, right? DarksydePhil didn't build the pig pen overnight. It took time to do that. It took time to construct that. It took time to initiate this indoctrination on these people. And that right there is I say, almost as bad as the abuse of anybody else in any other way. Whether you hurt somebody physically or psychologically, that moves with that person. Even when you're done with that person, that still moves with that person. And he don't see that. So though he may have, for example, never physically put any hands on Panda, right? Clearly. That's why she wasn't getting enough panty time. Whatever psychological abuse he put on her, right? Or emotional abuse, that girl carries that. Or that woman, I should say. That woman still carries that with her. And to prove that, ladies and gentlemen, look at him. Whatever it was that Panda did to him on her way out that door, he carries with him to this very day. And what did he do, ladies and gentlemen? What did he do, chat? He carried that shit over onto Catherine. Why do you think he won't leave the house unless Catherine's with him? Why do you think he essentially needs to know what she's doing at any given time? This is what he does. This is what he produces. And if he don't wake up so basically I'm telling 5-year Phil from 5 years ago this, if you don't wake up, it's only going to be bad for you. At the end of the day, these people are going to pick up and move on. These people are going to let their injuries heal in some way, shape, or form, and they're going to learn how to move past it. You're not. You're still stuck in 2008 and 2008. You're still stuck in 2005. You're still stuck in early 2000. These points of your life where you felt like people dicked you over or you got screwed over in whatever case may be, you're the one who still lives with all that. Most of those people were able to get past that and move on. So I think that's essentially the crutch of it. There's a few more things I can point out, but that's me being petty and getting super specific about shit. But for the most part, that's really what it comes down to. And actually, I would say one more thing to him. Big ups, Hate Army Watch. This bullshit about your back or whatever injury or whatever the stationary lifestyle that you like living or whatever, you're going to end up dying on that couch. You're going to end up dying on that chair. You're going to die wherever. You're going to die in a way that's not going to be suitable to what you're thinking if you don't take care of yourself. I don't know if I assume his parents would have told him that. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. But I'll tell him that. Get off your fucking ass and go out there and walk. Go out and get yourself a gym membership. Do some fucking push-ups and sit-ups or something. Because if not, you're going to die in front of that television. You're going to die in front of that camera. And that's all people are ever going to remember you for. And all the memorial montages and shit, all of the final salutes and everything, that's going to come from your detractors. That's what that's going to be. If DarksydePhil was to pass away tomorrow, somebody, I got a couple of names, Mighty D, kind of one of the first people, Mighty D, Snorpernell, maybe even Mr. Huffstuff and David Davison, just to say a few, would make a montage saying, hey, I'm sorry this happened to you, Phil. It's a shame that you wasted your fucking life doing all this shit. It's a shame that this all had to happen. And though I am a detractor, although I am a hater, although I am all of these different things, I'm still going to, this is my final goodbye to you. I see a detractor doing that well before a fan does. I really do. And that's kind of wild to think of it, but that's more than likely what's going to fucking happen. A detractor is going to acknowledge his existence before anybody else. And that's a goddamn shame. That's a damn shame when you really think about it. Because sooner than later, whether he has another stroke, whether he has a heart attack, whether whatever, when that happens, who's going to be even there to help him? So let me say this last point and then let's move on. Worst case scenario. What if, heaven forbid, DarksydePhil does have a heart attack on stream? For whatever reason. Now, We all have seen him in his clown mode type situations, right? We've seen all that dumb shit, all of his gyrating and all this crazy shit. But what if DarksydePhil really fucking had a heart attack on stream? Who's going to be the first person to actually identify what that is? It will more than likely be a detractor or a restreamer or whatever. If he fucking has a heart attack, how many people in Phil's fan base or who are on his stream are going to think, oh shit, I need to call the ambulance? And then what are you going to tell them when you get the ambulance on the phone? Oh, this guy, he's a streamer, DarksydePhil, have you ever heard of him? He lives in Washington and he's having a heart attack. Okay, you got an address? Well, no, only mentally ill detractors, trolls, haters, and critics would know that. I'm looking at him on stream and he's having a heart attack, I think. And that emergency response person is going to listen to this and be like, is that it? Like, you have nothing else that you can give to me to help this person. It's going to be a detractor who's going to pick up the phone and be like, hello? 911, what's your emergency? Yeah, I've got a Philip Brunel that lives in Renton, Washington. His address is beep, 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 beep. His phone number is beep, 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 beep. And I think he was having a heart attack. Okay, well, all right, thank you. We'll go ahead and send an emergency response over. Thank you. Click, and that's the end of that. That's how that's going to happen. The very people that he swears to God that have fucked his life up and that have ruined him is going to be the person that's going to end up saving him. And then what's he going to say? Then what's he going to say? And that could have all been avoided. All that time he was with Panda, Only Iced Coffee said he lives like an hour away or some shit, right? Or he lives like 45 minutes away. Only Iced Coffee ain't going to make it in time. He's not going to make it in time. The police response time in Phil's area is about 15 minutes, give or take. EMT, you would expect to be faster. They will more than likely get to him well before Only Iced Coffee does. Unless Only Iced Coffee is already stalking him outside. It is what it is. Yeah, exactly. Let me pull up his Kiwi Farms thread real quick, and I'll give you his address. Let me go to the front page real fast, and I can pull it up for you. So that's what's going to happen there, and that could be avoided. This whole nonsense about it's my aunt's fault, my parents' fault, all this bullshit. All you had to do was take care of yourself in the best way possible, and you have the time to do that. You chose not to. And at 40 years old, he's going to die relatively young. The dude's only 40. He looks like he's like 65, but he's only 40. And his life didn't need to end like that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go into, video number 3, or number 4. Actually, my bad. Video number 4. And thank you for coming to my TED Talk. And let's see if we can not fuck it up this time. All right, let's go ahead. Let me do some work here real fast. But that's what I would tell Phil from basically 2012 Phil. Like, let all that go. You're not the center of attention. You're not important. If you have an opportunity that most people don't get, save your money. Because if not, it's only going to end bad for you. I'm sorry, I botched the fuck out of that. My bad. I botched the fuck out of that.
Given your current financial situation, would bankruptcy be a valid option?
Okay, yikes. Hopefully on the last one, I'll be able to stick the dismount. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're here in video number 4, brought to us by Markus Daily Productions. Phil or DSP Gaming's thoughts on is bankruptcy for me? This is from October 29th of 2017. And like I said, next stream, I'll actually put the dates that they're posted. All right, here we go.
This is coming from someone who doesn't understand how bankruptcy works, so it would be nice if you could explain it. Well, I'll be honest with you, Nick. I don't know the ins and outs of bankruptcy. I know how it works. I know that there's qualification. You need to be qualified for bankruptcy in various different ways. One of which is you need to have a certain amount of debt. So I would need to make sure that the amount of debt that I have qualifies.
Yeah, silent weapons. That dismount. Yes. Very well put.
to declare bankruptcy. Basically, I think what it is, it's a ratio of how much money you're making versus how much debt you have. And then you can qualify for certain levels of bank or certain types of bankruptcy where basically you'll say, yeah, there's no way you'll ever realistically pay off the debt because of your financial situation, and you can declare bankruptcy. And what that does, it negates certain things. It doesn't negate everything. A lot of people think, oh, it just wipes the slate clean. No, it doesn't actually. I think in this case, what would happen is certain revolving debts, like my credit cards, would be written off, but other things would not. Installment loans in particular, a lot of the times do not get written off. You're still responsible for those. Let me put it this way. Bankruptcy, all right, would only happen like as a last resort. For example, I doubt they would even allow me to declare bankruptcy right now because I own 2 homes. I own this house in Washington and I have the condo back in Connecticut that I can't get rid of. I'm stuck with it. I think what they would actually require me to do would be I'd have to sell this house first in order to declare bankruptcy, which means I'd have to move back to the shitty condo in Connecticut.
Which actually, now I think about it, that's actually a great point. The last one, well, not the last one, it would have been many more, but him with the condo in Connecticut. Sell that bitch at a loss, right? Because he's more likely going to take the hit. The realtor that he had come out there said, we can probably sell it, but you're going to take a hit of 20 grand. Maybe it could have been mitigated to like 15 or 12. Take that hit and then move. I'd have told him that too. Just take the hit.
I don't want to do. So, and in addition, there's other things that I could do if I did get to the point where it was so bad that financially I couldn't pay the bills and make ends meet. What I would probably do, honestly, is call my credit card companies and talk with them and explain the financial situation. Say, look, here's my income. It's declined over the past year. Every year after year, I'm making less and less. And, the money spent on these credit cards was to, things years ago to finance the house and keep things afloat and keep the business afloat. And
I didn't bring it back. I'm sorry. I want you to, I've told you guys this, that he was using these credit cards to prop up this fucking business. He was getting these business loans to prop up a fucking YouTube channel. I'm sorry, you guys I need you guys to hear it. I just need you guys to hear it again.
And, the money spent on these credit cards was to, things years ago to finance the house and keep things afloat and keep the business afloat. And there's no way I could pay it off. So what I would do is negotiate with the credit card company and say, I still want to pay you. I just can't pay you what you want me to pay you on a monthly basis. So what would end up happening is all my credit cards would basically get closed. I'd never be able to use them again. But maybe they would negotiate so I pay half what the minimum monthly payment actually was. Now that would suck because it would probably take ridiculous amounts of time to pay off if I ever would pay them off. And it would hurt my credit too. But it's still a better option than like losing the house, right?
Oh, that's a gem. That's a fucking gem. Whew. Oh boy. It's good to know it, but it's great to hear it. It's great to hear that I had to use credit cards and business loans, not one, business loans to keep my YouTube channel afloat. There's something absolutely amazing about that. And then, even with the negotiations to reduce the payment amount and try to pay it off over time, he's still concerned about how, I'm not going to have any credit to do anything else. And you see what he's like without credit now. He's manic. He is fucking manic that he doesn't have credit cards. That shit is scary. Like, he looks like a fucking fiend when you think about that shit. A fucking fiend. Holy shit. Let's see here. I kind of remember what his excuse was, Hood. I kind of remember it. Let me see here. Oh, right. Yeah, he said he didn't have to list it. He just had to put up a sign and shit. He was an idiot. He was just an absolute fucking idiot. And he hasn't changed much. That's the sad part. Like, you would thought as he gets older, he'd get smarter, and he doesn't. Like, even his cons now are just, really? Today's stream was dedicated to trolls and money? Oh, okay. Anley has the recap? Okay, cool. Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
So, that's kind of, the situation. Bankruptcy would be like if things insanely got bad. Like, let's say, on top of all my financial troubles already, and by the way, there's other stuff going on behind the scenes too that you guys don't know about that I've alluded to and haven't given you the full story on. If everything went horribly wrong at once, like let's say I had a debilitating disease and I couldn't even work, right? And something else crazy happened and now there was literally no way that I could make money and pay the bills, then maybe I could declare bankruptcy. But that would be like the last case scenario on top of everything, okay?
Ooh, boy. Okay, now let's talk about this. Let's talk about this for a minute because we're going into our last video. Actually, let's hold on a second. Let's see if we can try to actually stick the routine on this. Is this it? Yes, I think this is it. Yeah, that's it. Okay, let's see if we can try to stick the dismount on this. All right. As I am just clicking away here. Oh, wow. Okay, that's why. Yikes. That is unfortunate. That's going to be a little bit deflected. Interesting. Okay. We can make this work. We can make this work. Okay. Okay. We can just stick the if we can just stick the dismount. There we go. I am a fuck up, but I am not a complete and total fuck up. This one's just going to be extra small. That's right. You can see one of Snortbuck's best in the background. That's how it should be. Okay. So let's talk about this a little bit. If DarksydePhil, let's chat, what do you guys think? If DarksydePhil was to get sick tomorrow, like real, I'm talking about real sick. I'm talking about like he's got Catherine has to take him to the hospital. He's bedridden. Any of that at all. How do you guys think that would play out? Because I essentially do know how, well, I have an idea of how that would play out. If DarksydePhil gets fucking so sick that he can't work, he has to be taken to the hospital, Catherine would, and this is smart of Catherine to do this, call his mother, tell his mother what the situation is, or tell his parents. And I would assume he'll sit in the hospital and they'll find out what's what. If he's completely immobilized, he's kind of fucked because no one's going to really know anything, which is going to definitely bring a bunch of attention to him. If he can actually move his little stubby T-Rex arms, then he's all over Twitter. He's all over Twitter guilt-tripping people to pledge the Patreon or tip him through PayPal or whatever the case may be. The question is, for how long? If this becomes something serious, I'm not going to wish anything badly on him because you shouldn't. No one should. If it's something really, really bad, like someone brought up COVID, for example, fucking A, dude. I don't even want to think about if he got COVID. I don't really want to think about him getting anything, but if he got something seriously bad, I think you're going to see him. I think you're going to see him scared. I think you're going to see him monumentally scared to the point where it's not about whose fault it is. It's not about getting mad. I think he's going to be scared. And you're right. He would try to capitalize off of it. But dude, when you think that you may be so sick that you might die, you know what I'm saying? Or you're going to be laid up for months on end. I don't think he's going to be thinking about that at first. I think eventually he'll try to put himself in that position. But at that point, man, you're just trying to live. You're just trying to live. And sadly, at that particular point, anybody who's ever worked in a hospital or seen people or have family members who worked at a hospital, you know what I'm talking about. At that point, it's kind of almost too late. Almost. Like, you know, all the changes that you should have made last year, you know what I'm saying? 6 months ago, 4 months ago, last month, that's already gone, baby. That's already gone. Now now they're just trying to stabilize you and see if they can just hold you together at that point. And his immune system is shit. You guys already know that. His health is fucking in the dumpster, if you will. If Phil got hit with anything, he's fucked. He is fucked. And even if he makes it through it, right, and he does come back, he'll never be the same. He'll never be the same. Now the question is, would that be enough to humble him, though? Would that be enough for him to look at his audience, the few hundred people that are still even exist, and be like, I'm sorry for how I've treated you. I'm sorry for what I've done. And I don't know how much time I have left, but I want to tell you that I appreciate everything you guys gave me up to this point. I don't think Phil's man enough to do that. Yeah, you're right. I don't think they'll ever do that. I don't think he's man enough to do that. I think he's going to want to get over, or he's going to want to convey his fear. But I don't think he's man enough to do that. No, you're absolutely right. But what is he going to do? He has to do something. He has to do something. Yeah, it does really make you think about life. It really does. That's why when he says that he has these detractors, trolls, haters, and critics that are like pulling 24-hour ops on him, it's clearly not true. We actually have lives. I have to disconnect from this shit because I got other shit to do. You all have other shit to do. You know what I'm saying? Snort Brunel has other shit to do. Mighty D has other shit to do. Tevin has other shit to do. He's the one who's locked in on this, and this is all he has. If I disappear, for example, off YouTube tomorrow, is there really a big loss? Let's keep it 100 with each other. Is it really going to be a big loss? Someone else will step in. You already have a stable of very, very talented and entertaining guys already on the come up. If Tevin doesn't ever come back to doing detractor content, can anybody really replace him? No. No one can replace Tevin. But you know what I'm saying? Tevin has enough material out there that you have something to always remember him by, if you will. Right? If DSP disappears, DSP disappears. Even with all of his content out there, his legacy, if you will, people will only look at it and see what can be picked apart. No one will ever sit down and look at Phil's content and be like, wow, we didn't appreciate him for what he had. No one's ever going to do that. I'm sorry. No one's ever going to look at it like that. It's not practical. It's not reasonable. You know what I'm saying? But then on the other side of that spectrum, will Phil miss those people? Will he miss those people who came through and gave him all this money and gave him a reason to go on, or whatever the case may be? You know what I'm saying? Will he do that? And you can ask any content creator, whether a detractor or not, they're going to say they're going to miss y'all. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's going to say that. Because you enjoy talking to people. You enjoy interacting with people. You enjoy hearing their opinions. Whether you agreed with me or not. Whether you agreed with me or not. You know what I mean? I can appreciate you coming. I appreciate you being honest. I appreciate you being honest. Like I said, for good, bad, or otherwise. It is what it is. But can DSP do that? Is DSP at the point in his life right now where he's not completely sick? He's clearly sick. But where he's not completely and totally sick, where he can sit there as a man and say, hey, if something happens to me tomorrow, thank you for everything. Can he do that? I don't think he can. But I bet you he'll try to convey it. But I don't think he can. I don't know. And I think that's the sad part. I think that's truly the sad part. Okay. Okay, let's put myself on the spot for a minute. To be honest with you, I look at it this way. I'm merely a drop in what is the ocean that is your lives. I appreciate you guys giving me the chance to convey my opinion. I'm very grateful at the people who have given me a moment of their time, whether minutes, hours, days worth, in a lot of cases. I appreciate that greatly. I'll never be able to convey to you how much I appreciated that. But I am just that. I'm a moment in your life, if you will. And if anything ever did happen, someone else will come in and whatnot. Someone else will provide you that entertainment or give you those, I don't know if I say I bestow words of wisdom or whatever the case may be, but someone will come in on that. There's some people that can't be replaced. Certainly. I can name a couple of people off the top of my head that just cannot be replaced. But I'm not one of them. I'm someone who you gave me an opportunity. We had a good time for however long that time ends up, going for, however long it lasted for. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want anything more than to just be heard. So, and that's what people gave me for those who like me or they don't. And so that's really all that's all I ever asked for. I never aspired to be more. Maybe because I didn't know what more I wanted. Maybe I don't know. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I guess I'd really have to sit there and think about it. But I'd like to think of it like that. You know what I'm saying? Like if you do catch one of the live streams or you catch one of my videos, I was a part of your day, a small part of your day. And if I was able to give you a laugh during that day or help you get through that day, or I gave you something to be pissed off about to help you get through your day or whatever the case may be, then okay, I filled that role. You know what I'm saying? And that right there, I think in itself is more of a thank you than anything. That's why I never asked for anything. Being heard in that moment may be more important than being remembered. At least that's the way I look at it. You know what I mean? Because, and with that being said, for those who I guess came up in my generation, and then even, at least those who came up in my generation, I want to see people grow, and I want to see people better. I don't ever look at it as, oh, that was at my expense. Like, for example, a thing that I get hit with a lot is, why do you keep shouting out this person? Why do you keep shouting out that person? So on and so forth. Because that's the people that I fuck with. That's the people that I watch. That's whose content I enjoy. That's why I do that. At the end of the day, that's me. That's what I do. And that's what I do. And we should want to, and as Agent Proper would tell you, because I've had plenty of conversations about this, you should want to see everybody do well. You should want to see everybody do well. Because we already see what it's like when one person profits over everybody else. What's up, Goji? You already see what it's like when one person reigns supreme over everybody else. We've already seen that. And if you still haven't learned from that, then I can't help you with that. You know what I'm saying? We're stronger together than as individuals. And sooner than later, some of us are going to fizzle out. Whether it's by choice, whether it's by happenstance, whether by whatever. But at the end of the day, don't we want to see other people come in with new ideas, with new opinions, and to be able to carry this on? That's what we should want. That's what it should be. If you can come in this and if you can gain from it or profit from it or whatever the case may be, then by all means. But at the same time, we should want to leave this for somebody else. At the end of the day, DSP, Wings of Redemption, Low Tier God, Rich from Review Tech USA, Boogie, The Quartering, all those dudes who are in this lol cow status type shit, they'll fizzle themselves out. And they all know it. And they're all scared to death of it. So no one needs to interfere in that. Look at what happened to Christian. Look at that shit. And that's what happens when you have a lot of gatekeeping, you have a lot of gay ops, and all that nonsense. And then you had someone who was willing to go the extra step just for the rep. Just to be the one to say, I was the one that put Chris Chan down. Because that's all she was going for. That's why she wanted him to kill himself. Because then she's known forever as the person to drive him to that. No one wants that over here on this side of the spectrum. What drives someone to even want that? Sitting here and laughing at a person for hours on end, if that's how I enjoy my time and shit, that's how I'm going to spend my motherfucking time. End of story. But I don't want the guy dead. You know what I'm saying? I want other people to have the opportunity that I was given. Did I handle everything that I did right? No, not even fucking close. Did a lot of people give me a pass? Yeah, they did. More so than even I know, at least from what I'm being told. You know what I'm saying? So I'd like to, if possible, if you can elevate other people or give other people that shot, then so be it. The only thing I can really tell you for those who come after us is try not to make the mistakes we did. Just as I'm sure, Tevin and his generation would have said the same. Like, hey, don't fuck up like you know what I mean? Don't fuck up like we did. And vice versa. That's what you're supposed to do. That's what you're supposed to do. So, I don't know. But that's the end of my TED Talk on that. That's the end of my TED Talk on that. But, all right, let's go ahead and, I don't know. To be honest, as it pertains to Ethan Ralph, because I see that right here. I don't know how that's going to end, to be honest with you. I'm not sure how that's going to play out. I don't know. It's just I don't know, that whole internet blood sports thing, it's just a shame how that all fell apart. But that is what that is. All right, here we go.
He says, Phil, now that you actually know about the state taxes in the state of Washington, is it cheaper to live there than Connecticut? If you don't know what Nick's talking, he says, Phil, now that you actually know about the state taxes in the state of Washington, is it cheaper to...
All right. Sorry, I forgot to give you guys the title of the video. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, for our last and final video of the stream, also brought to us by Markus Daily Productions, DSP, or Phil's thoughts on, is it cheaper to live in Washington or Connecticut? This is from September 20th of 2018. Yet again, the link is down in the description, because I am somewhat responsible. Somewhat. Here we go.
Live there than Connecticut. If you don't know what Nick's talking about, boy, did we have a debacle here last year. Basically, I moved from the state of Connecticut to the state of Washington in the year of 2014. The reason I did was multiple reasons. I wanted better weather. I wanted to get a nice house, and houses were cheaper out here. In addition, taxes. Taxes out here, to my knowledge, were much lower because there's no state income tax, while in Connecticut, there's a very large state income tax, okay? So moving across the country seemed to benefit me because I was going to be paying way less taxes. Well, guess what? Last year, I get a notice from the state of Washington to find out I was supposed to be paying business taxes the entire time that I lived here, but my accountant, who I was paying thousands of dollars to do my taxes, didn't know that and didn't do the due diligence to research and find that out, so I owed a ridiculous amount of back taxes to the state of Washington. It was
Now, why the fuck didn't you do the due diligence to actually find out about that? That's the crazy part. Why didn't he look? Yes, you pay this guy thousands upon thousands of dollars to do your taxes or whatever, but why didn't you take 15, 20 minutes or whatever the case to go ahead and do that on your own? That doesn't make any sense. And the ATKs around this time too were fucking hilarious, by the way. We'll go over some of those because those things were fucking funny. But why didn't you take the time to look that stuff up and see what needed to be done and what what didn't, and then reconfirm with your tax guy and get that all played out? And then here's the crazy part. It's very possible, ladies and gentlemen, that the business and state occupation tax in Washington state is actually less than what the state tax is in Connecticut. Maybe. I'm just hypothetically. I'm not really quite sure. But let's say that it could actually have been less. So he theoretically didn't really save anything in the end. He just fucked himself over. And then if you go back and look at the old videos from that time, dude, that number of how much he owed was somewhere between $5,000-$6,000 and then jumped up to these crazy $10,000s of dollars. So even that you can't really put a hoof on. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense when you really think about it. But he fucked himself. He could have probably paid the state and business occupation tax and been fine. But he was so dead set on trying to get over that he ended up screwing himself in the end. What's that term? Motherfuckers always trying to ice skate uphill? There you go.
Pretty. Okay, not at all. It really sucked, to be quite frank, that I had to pay all this money to the state of Washington for years of living here and not paying these taxes. The good news is, It's all cleared up. It took a while, but I got it all cleared up. All my taxes with the state of Washington are good. And now moving forward, once a year, I'm going to have to pay state income tax. Now, Nick's question is, not state income tax, state business tax. Nick's question is, if I lived in Connecticut and was paying the state income tax versus the business tax that I pay here in the state of Washington, which is better? The answer by far is the state business tax here in Washington. It's way less than what I was paying over in Connecticut, okay?
Okay, so I was just cutting bacon in the dark on that one. I wasn't really quite sure. But it doesn't matter because he's still in the hole. So think about this for a few minutes. So let's say that $1,000 or whatever it was, whatever it is that he owes at the end of the year, each and every year for state and business occupation tax, that $1,000 or so would have been, which was way more acceptable than the apparently thousands upon thousands of dollars he was paying in Connecticut. Are you fucking serious? You fucking serious? And someone actually brings up a good point. Why didn't he go to either Florida or Texas? Florida's too hot, and Lord knows that he needed Panda to go down there, get swooped up, thicken up, and then ends up leaving him earlier than she actually did. And Texas, same concept, too hot, and I guess that's it. There's no real drawbacks to Texas or Florida really, but there's really no drawbacks to Texas. You know what I'm saying? Your money goes a long way down there. A long way in Texas. If any of you guys have visited Texas or even lived there, you kind of know what I'm talking about. Like, you can get a lot there. Maybe he would have been smart enough to get an air conditioner. Maybe. Like a real one, not one that's attached to his window. I don't know, but those are kind of his two main reasons. It was basically the heat. That's why when he moved into his condo or townhouse or whatever you want to call it in Washington, he was like, oh, I don't need to worry about an air conditioner because it's cool all year round. Really, Phil? Really? How many heat waves has he been fighting over the last couple years? Semantics.
I was paying them ridiculous amounts of money.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. She'd have definitely gotten thickened up in Texas too. She had definitely gotten thickened up in Texas. That's very true. So, I don't know. I feel like he moved to Seattle as an outward reflection of what he actually felt. Not to say that obviously Seattle's the shits or anything, but it rains a lot. Some people look at it as kind of gloomy. I guess that's all on perspective, but I feel like that's the case. And more importantly, he actually knew some people in the Seattle crew back in the FGC days. He didn't reconnect with any of them as far as we know, but I don't know. Maybe he felt comfortable with that. I don't know. I don't remember him ever saying he went to Seattle before he moved out there or before he even planned to move out there. So who could say either which way?
For nothing. And the reason I say that is when I lived in Connecticut, the infrastructure of that state was shit. The roads were constantly falling apart. I didn't get any benefit. Crime was sky high where I was living. Their taxes were high. Even sales tax, things like that, gas tax, everything, prices.
I don't know if Phil, I can't classify Phil as a hipster, but he's definitely soy as fuck. He's definitely fucking soy as shit. Him and Matt and Monday Matt or Matt Jarvo or whatever. Yeah, they're two very resentful little men. For sure. Like, it must be something in the water out there, I guess. Or at least in their part. I don't know. I don't know. Those are two peas in the pod when you kind of think about it. But he had a chance, yet again, to move somewhere really nice. And maybe experience some shit that he's never experienced before. And maybe he thought Seattle was it. I don't know. But we all saw how it turned out. So, X the doubt on that.
Everywhere around me were very high. And I was like, why am I paying exorbitantly high taxes for a state that I don't get anything back? You know what I mean? It would be one thing if, you're paying high state income tax, but the state's beautiful. Crime's low. The roads are beautifully paved and nice and everything, and you have a good time living there. I was the opposite. Like, the longer I lived in Connecticut, the more I grew to hate it and wanted to get the hell out of there. The weather, are you kidding me? The weather in Connecticut was god-awful. We had disgustingly humid and hot summers, and then immediately cold, frigid, icy, snow-filled winters with no in-between. There was no fall or spring to speak of, even though they called them fall and spring. We didn't get that weather anymore. It was just the extreme to the fucking extreme, and I absolutely hated it. I hated living there, okay? So, being out here is much better. The weather is much more moderate, and I love that. Yes, there are extremes, don't get me wrong. There's some really hot days in the summer, and we have potential that there may be some snow in the winter, but it's like 5% of the time, and then 95% of the time we have this nice, moderate, beautiful weather where you can go out and not have to wear a heavy coat and just be relaxed and walk around and enjoy everything out here. Our infrastructure is outstanding because Washington was one of the final states to be settled in the United States of America. So the roads aren't super fucking old. They get paved all the time. There's everything that I could want is super close to me. Versus in Connecticut, I just have to drive to go get stuff. Here, it's like I drive 5 minutes. I could get anything I could possibly want. Food, eating out or going to a grocery store, electronics, games, clothing, shopping.
You see where his priorities were at this time? Let me bring that back for you. 5 minutes away from everything. Keep in mind, in Connecticut, he was kind of like 10 or 15 minutes away from everything, but, what are you going to do?
Food, eating out or going to a grocery store, electronics, games, clothing.
Alive and Well. Are you talking about like that upspeak he does? Where he puts like this emphasis on everything? I can't remember who he picked that up from. Because he clearly got it from somewhere. I don't think... maybe Panda has it? I don't know. Panda's voice is nasally. Not nasally in the way Phil's voice is nasally. It was just like... For all the credit that we give Panda... she's a mess too. Or at least she was anyway. I don't know how much she's changed or whatnot. She seems happier. But make of that what you will. But, I wouldn't say her voice was pleasant, to be honest. It's tolerable, but I don't know if I'd say it was pleasant, now that I think about it. So I don't know if he got that upspeak from her. But he does have a lot of Panda speaking terms, or mannerisms, I should say. Same thing with Catherine. Even in the few responses or the few times we've heard Catherine actually talk and speak, you can hear some of Catherine and Phil speak. You definitely see a large emphasis of like John and Howard and their influences on him and how he talks as well. Let me think on that. That's actually a very interesting point. Let me think on that. I agree. Yeah, don't. It's kind of... See, here's the thing. Though people are happy that Panda has moved on and she's doing well for herself, the reality is she was kind of a shitty person too. But so, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she was kind of a shitty person when she was around. And though I don't... But that doesn't justify having her personal business being thrown out there like that for profit. It didn't, you know what I'm saying? It didn't justify that. Because Jesus Christ, dude, if you wanted to make a racist compilation of the shit Panda said, it's not hard. It is not fucking hard. Matter of fact, I think both parts are still out. If any of you guys ever get a chance, you go back and listen to Almighty Tevin's Endure of Panda's content. It's like, it might be like 10 hours altogether. It's something you can watch over the span of a couple of weeks or something. And because I'm trying to find that voice, that soundbite of when she said that about how they started, like how they initially started dating, because I think it's in there. And she may have talked a little bit about their sex life in there too. But I just haven't been able to let it play in the background and just actually go through it. I just haven't been able to do it yet. It's just I've tried, but like Tevin can only do so much, and I just can't get over some of it because there's really a lot of dead air in that, from her part anyway. But you might find something a bit worthwhile in there. But you can definitely find some really hot takes on her that just, it makes her come across as a kind of a shit person. I think the reason why she's elevated is that she's familiar to us, whereas Catherine isn't. Like, in what little we have on Catherine, it isn't much. And maybe that's because by design, I suppose. Maybe because she's left to her own devices and she's a bit of a shut-in, which if you look at her upbringing, that kind of makes sense for a lot of reasons. But it's still, even with all of the shit Panda did, it didn't warrant her getting outed the way she did, if that makes sense. It just doesn't warrant it.
Clothing shop, anything you need that's in a small radius. It's just so much better out here. Seriously. Now, the question in particular was about taxes. Yeah, are there taxes here? Absolutely. There's the business tax that I've got to pay, and the state income tax, the state sales tax is higher here. It's actually, I think, like 9 to 10%, while in Connecticut it was like 7%. So I pay a little bit more money when I go out and buy stuff, but it's me actively choosing to spend said money. If I go out and, I'm going to buy something today, I'm going to pay more sales tax, that's me choosing to spend that money, versus in Connecticut, there's income tax. They just take it from you because you made money. It's not like you actively chose to buy something, so now you pay more taxes. We just take it from you anyway. The fuck is that? So it's much better out here. Yeah, now even with the business tax that now I have to pay on a yearly basis, it's way less than what I was paying for state income tax in Connecticut overall. So.
Now, I would like someone to bring that up to him later on about the difference between his state tax and his state business occupation tax compared to his income tax or his state tax in Connecticut, and I'd like to see if that story has changed, because I wouldn't be surprised if it did. That's pretty much the stream, guys. To be honest with you, I've held you guys not nearly as long as I'm normally known for doing so, but that's essentially what the situation is on all of that. Hopefully, I was able to get you guys reminded of some stuff that you guys may have not heard in a while, or the first time that you've heard it. And I appreciate you guys coming to my TED Talk. That was kind of a nice, in perspective, I guess. I don't know if I've really given myself much thought on that. But that's how I guess that's how I essentially feel, to be honest. It's 18 hours altogether. Oh, wait a second. Are we talking about the Panda Lead thing, or are we talking about something else? Sorry, I really should pay more attention to the chat, I guess. Because if we're talking about that Tevin video, it can't be that long, because I think it's only 2 of them. It can't be that long. I might have some stuff lined up, Black Doom. I may have some stuff lined up, to be honest. Yes, Gunslinger, actually I did. And actually in my description, I actually talked about that on the stream, actually. And I left the link to your video in the description. So hopefully some people decide to check it out and they take you up on your offer. I may have some questions myself that I'll shoot down range at you. Anyway, Laser GTG, not sure yet. Let me get back to the snort report, and then we will see. He has 3 parts. Okay, fair enough. I'll sit down like over the span of like a weekend or something, and I'll play in the background. I'm sure I'll find what I'm looking for, because I need to do it. All right, guys, thank you very much for listening in. I very much appreciate it and whatnot. I'm not sure when the next stream is going to be yet. Like I said, I usually try to aim for Tuesdays. And that didn't really work. That didn't really work out. I will check out whatever that rant was from today. I'll check Anley's channel if he has it, or if Hate Army Watch ends up doing something about it. I'll check that out, and then we'll go from there. But for now, go ahead and get out of here. Thank you guys for showing up. I very much appreciate it. And like I said, have a good day. Have a good day. Here, my bad, Ring. When will it end? I need you to be a little bit more specific. You mean Phil in general, or what exactly? I'll definitely answer your question. If I can give me a little bit more context. Like I said, I don't mean to hold you up. If you've already bounced, then no problem. But I'll try to answer your question if I can.